over its war in Ukraine.
In meetings at the Group of 20 summit in Indonesia, the president is pressing nations to stand up to Russia and defend Ukraine's sovereignty in both symbolic and substantive ways. The effort comes as global inflation and slowing economies have put new pressures on countries that impose penalties on Russia for the 9-month war that has sent food and energy prices soaring. A senior U.S. administration official says that the summit's final communique will make clear that most of the nations condemn Russia's invasion in Ukraine and the toll it has taken on global food and energy supplies. I'm Norman Hall.
Encouraged by the latest inflation report, stock futures higher this morning. The Dow futures up 373 points. NASDAQ futures better by 318 points. More on these stories, townhall.com.
Now, if you feel like you're stuck with a healthcare plan that isn't affordable or you simply just don't like how it works, well, right now, during open enrollment is a perfect time to switch to Medi-Share. The typical family saves $500 a month when they join Medi-Share, and what's more, they like it. Medi-Share has double the customer satisfaction rate compared to the industry. That's double. And Medi-Share is the most trusted name in healthcare sharing. It's been around for 30 years. It's shared more than $4 billion in healthcare bills. And here's why now is the perfect time to make the switch. If you join Medi-Share Complete by January 1st, they will waive your new member fees and you'll save an additional 10% off your first year. That's right. No fee to join, 10% off every month for all of next year. But again, it's a limited time offer. So yeah, you're not stuck. You've got a great option. Call now, 844-41-BIBLE. That's 844-41-BIBLE, 844-41-BIBLE.
The United States and China have agreed to reopen some lines of communication following this week's meeting between Presidents Biden and Xi.
One of the outcomes of the 3-hour talks was the agreement to empower key senior officials to work on areas of potential cooperation. Back in the summer, Beijing had cut off such contacts with the U.S. in protest of House Speaker Pelosi's trip to Taiwan.
I asked that Secretary Blinken travel to China to follow up on our discussions and continue keeping the lines of communication open.
The president said he believes that China and the U.S. should be able to work together to solve global challenges.
White House correspondent Greg Clugston. The U.S. Navy says it found 70 tons of a missile fuel component hidden among bags of fertilizer aboard a ship bound to Yemen from Iran. The first such seizure in that country's years-long war as a ceasefire there has broken down. Townhall.com. The United Nations says the world's population has reached 8 billion. It confirms an earlier forecast.
The projection came in a UN report released in July that said much of the growth expected between now and 2050 is coming from just 8 countries. Half of those are in sub-Saharan Africa: Nigeria, Congo, Ethiopia and Tanzania. The UN says the populations in the region are growing at 2.5%. That's more than 3 times the global average. Still, experts say the bigger threat to the environment is consumption, highest in developed countries not undergoing big population increases. I'm Charles de Ledesma.
As the votes from a dozen or so races continue to be tallied, the Republicans are edging ever closer to taking charge of the House. The GOP is now just 1 seat away from having a majority in the lower house of Congress. More on these stories at townhall.com.
What in the wide, wide world of sports is going on here?
I promise you, whatever scum did this, not one man in this force will rest for 1 minute until he's behind bars. Now let's grab a bite to eat. Yeah, come on.
I feel the hot wind on my shoulder and the touch of a world that is older. I hit the switch and check the number. I leave it on and then I slumber. I hear the rhythm ringing through it. Flamenco guitar and cumbia music. I hear the talking of the DJ. The travel listen, what does he say? I'm on a Mexican radio. I'm on a Mexican radio. Yeah!
Broadcasting live from high atop the J.P. White Building in downtown Roswell, New Mexico. It's Mornings with Mike Winters on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM.
Is that what I sound like when I talk?
Now, here's your host, Mike Winters.
And good morning, one and all. Welcome to Mornings with Mike Winters. I am he. That would be me, Mike Winters. Happy Tuesday, everybody. Welcome to Tuesday. Best thing about Tuesday, it's not Monday.
The truest of all the days.
Yeah, happy Tuesday, everybody. I'm not going to lie. This Tuesday morning, a slight pep in my step.
Oh, yeah?
Slight.
Why are you peppy? Why are you peppy?
Little football game last night.
Uh-huh.
Washington Commanders defeated the undefeated, formerly undefeated, Philadelphia Eagles on Monday Night Football.
Told you. All it takes is a little bit of belief. Uncle Jimmy was going to pull through.
Uncle Jimmy's, he's working the Taylor Heineke magic. That's for sure. But, they beat the Eagles on Monday Night Football.
You know what it's really doing?
Yeah.
It's making the team look a lot more viable when Snyder decides to sell them.
Yeah.
It's like, see, we're on a streak. We're doing okay.
Well, allegedly, according to Jay Glazer, anyway, who, he's like the official football guru of all things insider NFL stuff. He says that team's going to sell by like March next year. They're going to have, by the spring meetings, they should have the team sold.
It's always interesting to hear because they always like a consortium of people, including, and it'll be like two famous people and then just some investment bankers.
Those names have been out there. The Jeff Bezos Jay-Z connection is a big one.
Because I knew Jay-Z wanted to. I knew that LeBron was talking about wanting to.
I think there's a couple groups. RG3 has a little group that he's trying to get like fans to join with him. I think McConaughey's trying to get in with Jay-Z and Bezos. Man. Because McConaughey's a Washington fan. He's a fan of the Redskins growing up as a child.
Sure.
And so he's always, he was, even when Dan Snyder, he was on the sidelines in his burgundy and gold get-ups and, all right, doing his thing.
Can you imagine having the kind of money where you're making decisions to buy football teams? Like, that's just a ridiculous amount of money.
Well, and I hear when the team sells, it will sell somewhere in the neighborhood of $8 billion.
I would assume it'd be in the high nines.
Yeah, it's about, I heard $8 billion is about figures. What I heard. Just by comparison, Daniel Snyder, public enemy number one, bought the Redskins. What was it, 99 in the 90s, for about $800 million. I think it's $700 or $800 million. Sell them for $7-8 billion.
That's a pretty good profit margin. Not gonna lie, it's a good return. It's a good ROI.
I don't feel too bad for Daniel Snyder, with all the ridicule, and he can go buy his island and sit on it and not have to deal with people the rest of his life.
There's never going to come a time in Dan Snyder's life or the lives of his children or his grandchildren where they're ever going to have to make the decision whether or not to put cheese on their Whopper.
They don't need extra fixins at the Fixin' Bar.
That's right.
But no, Washington won last night. I was it was surprisingly happy. For those that watched it, you saw basically what I don't know. You saw you saw kind of the best and worst of Taylor Heineke. Why he's beloved, because he's got the heart of a lion, but he's got the throwing ability of I don't know, someone who's not in the NFL.
The heart of a lion, but the throwing arm of a Giselle. Not a gazelle, a Giselle.
Well, he's 6'1", which is, that's strapping man size, but for quarterbacks, that's a little short. And so he tends to sail his passes and things, and he wears his heart on his sleeve, and he makes decisions like that too sometimes.
Right.
And that's what makes him amazing, but also makes him like, what were you thinking?
But those are the ones you want to watch. You want to hitch your wagon to those stars.
He's entertaining to watch, and I love it. And if this team's going to suck, they might as well suck brilliantly. Because
please put that on a T-shirt. Suck brilliantly, Washington Commanders.
I'd buy that shirt.
I would too.
But so they're great to watch, and matter of fact, I that's what you kind of see when all week, if you look at the right social medias, they always have like rankings of NFL teams, and they do like sort of comedic versions of them. Like ESPN 27 will do one for here's the NFL rankings, and they do jokes like in there and all that. And the consensus when they get to the Commanders, it's all like, well, these will be fun to watch.
It's like the Globetrotters.
Hold on your seats.
The team that plays the Globetrotters, they don't sit in their locker rooms going, tonight could be the night, guys. They just say, let's go out there and make it entertaining.
Yeah, there you go.
That's what it's all about.
The Washington Generals.
Yeah,
that's usually who they're playing.
Yeah. So it's Washington is the problem.
Yeah, they were the perennial whipping boys of the Harlem Globetrotters.
Get out of your mind. Get out of your minds all this playoff nonsense. Forget about Super Bowls and rings. All right, just go out there and entertain. You guys stop being the Commanders and start being the Generals.
I'm going to play a little Cowboys right now. We're only a half a game out of the playoff race or wild card spot, and we just beat the undefeated team.
If we win next week,
Super Bowl,
this
baby.
team, this team, and this team lose, we might have a shot in 3 weeks.
Yeah, Super Bowl, baby.
Putting that ring on.
And not to rub salt in the wound, but I'm going to rub salt in the wound. Cowboys befell to the Packers over the weekend. And so Washington beating Philly was great for Dallas.
Sure.
And Giant fans. You're welcome, by the way. But for all you Cowboys fans that are all trying like, well, we beat the Packers. Washington beat the Packers. Y'all did.
Yeah. So
settle down now.
Any given Sunday, Michael. Any given Sunday. Or Thursday, or Monday, as it were.
Super Bowl, baby. I gotta have some fun.
If it was
once every 20 years, I get a good game out of them, and I gotta enjoy it.
The sheer irony of all of it is, if it's gonna happen, it's gonna happen the 1 year after Uncle Jimmy is not around to watch it.
I'm telling you. Well, maybe he is. I'm just saying.
Or maybe he's
up there.
He's up there. He's up there making it happen.
You know what? I'd like to think, in my head, he's sitting up there watching the TV, like a big screen, of course.
In an inflatable, not Commanders, Redskins chair.
Yeah, but sitting next to him in an equally luxurious inflatable Redskins chair is a one Jack Kent Cook, former owner of the Washington Redskins. And they're sitting together
there you go.
watching, and Jack Kent Cook's going, by God, man, you coming up here and doing this is great. You know, that's how he talked.
I like that his name is a description of a potential description of him, Jack Can't Cook.
Well, I've never heard anybody just call him Jack. I've never heard Jack Cook.
Jack Cook.
It's always been Jack Can't Cook. So, Jack Can't Cook. And Uncle Jimmy are up there now watching.
Rubbing elbows and trading ideas. Tackling fuel.
And quite ironically, my uncle's still sneaking in pints of like in his. He's like, you can just leave it on the table.
You don't need that up here. It does nothing.
It doesn't taste the same.
It's basically just water.
Anyway, let me give you the rundown of today's show. I wish my cousin was listening to that. She'd probably get a kick out of that. We're going to replay an interview this hour. We had the Tamara Schubert and Arlene from the Chaves County Extension Office join us, talking mostly about the Christmas showcase this week.
Right.
So we're going to play that for you to get one last reminder about that. In the 8 o'clock hour, about 8:15, Donna Oracion with Eastern New Mexico University Roswell will join us, give us an update. I know they're getting big into registration for the spring and all that right now. So we'll probably chit-chat a little bit about that. And then in the 9 o'clock hour, we're going to replay an interview. Matt Bristol joined us yesterday in the 7, and he talked, as he usually does, sage legal advice.
He dropped fat law nuggets.
Yeah. That's the grossest way to say
I know,
something.
it really was.
I was like, he gave you some good knowledge. That was the grossest way possibly to say it.
Dropping nugs of law knowledge.
Certain words just don't.
He left a hot, steamy pile of knowledge right here. Right here.
That's what it sounded like, yeah. So we're going to play our interview with Matt Bristol here in the 9 o'clock hour today.
Dropping knowledge.
Plus, we'll have all of your features usual. Your news of local, national variety, along with your Wall Street business updates and all of that. Hey, Sean? Yeah. Did we ever get word back about video on the Roswell game?
Let me check on that.
Okay. I didn't know if I was like, I remember we were supposed to hear yesterday. I can tell you this, for playoff football, Artesia Deming game, that's going to be audio only. As the Deming Wildcats, the Cats Network there in Deming, they have purchased the video rights for that game, so they're going to be showing the game on video. We'll have just radio only. I know yesterday, at last I heard we were supposed to get a decision back whether we're going to be able to purchase video rights for the Coyote game against Piedra Vista on Saturday, and I have not heard back yet. So as soon as I know for sure, I think we're good, but I don't know for certain. I'll check on that and get back to you on that one. All right, it is 7:17. We're going to go ahead and get you up to date on the weather.
I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton with your Pecos Valley weather. We have high pressure moving in from the central plains with cool air, so we'll stay in the upper 40s for the afternoon high today, but it should be pretty nice. A few clouds and some sunshine. Partly cloudy and cold for the overnight hours, dropping into the upper 20s, and then Wednesday looks about the same. Sunshine, maybe a few clouds, and our afternoon high in the upper 40s again. We'll bounce back to the mid-50s and sunny Thursday. That's your latest forecast. I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton.
Thank you, Steve. Currently 27 degrees here in Roswell. Humidity is at 72%. Winds, this is the best part, are calm at the moment, because yesterday seemed much colder with that wind. Today, it's actually colder, but doesn't feel as cold because it's less wind. Crazy how life works, huh? But anyway, so I actually enjoyed this morning more than yesterday, just because it's less wind. But partly cloudy today. We're not getting to 50. 48's our expected high today. Winds will be out of the northeast, 5 to 10 miles per hour. Tonight, mostly cloudy with an overnight low of 28. Winds out of the southeast at around 5 miles per hour. For your Wednesday, we'll be in the mid-40s. Tomorrow, partly cloudy, 44 for a high. Winds will be out of the northeast at around 5 miles per hour. Tomorrow night, partly cloudy, overnight low of 26. Winds out of the west at around 5 miles per hour. It's chilly overnights. Love it. I like it, but make sure to drip the pipes and all that. For you Thursday, sunny skies. That's our warm day of the week. We'll be in the mid-50s on Thursday. 55 officially with south winds 5 to 10. Then Friday, mostly cloudy, highs back down into the 40s. Actually, 4D is our high on Friday. And then mostly cloudy on Friday night with an overnight low of 26. And then looking at your weekend, cool. On Saturday, mostly sunny, 44. So when you're out watching some football, probably going to be wearing a heavier coat for that one. And then Sunday, a little bit warmer, sunny skies, a high of 53. And then it looks like we'll start next week 56. So maybe it'll be a warmer week for your Thanksgiving week. So knock on wood there. All right, it is 7:19. We're going to take a 2.5-minute commercial break, and then we're going to play our interview we had with the Chaves County Extension Office yesterday. That's on the other side. Don't go away. You're listening to Mornings with Mike Winters.
Good morning, this is Smiley Wooten at the Roswell Livestock Auction. 1,769 head of cattle sold on Monday on an uneven market with excellent buyer attendance compared to last week. Stocker steers sold steady to $12 higher. Heifer mates sold steady. Feeder cattle steady to $5 lower. Packer cows and bulls steady to $4 lower. 3 to 400 pound steers $242, $252. 3 to 400 pound heifers $175, $186. 4 to 500 pound steers $196, $242. 4 to 500 pound heifers $160, $175. 5 to 600 pound steers $174.5, $196. 5 to 600 pound heifers $149, $160. 6 700 pound steers $158, $174.50. 6 700 pound heifers $144, $149. 7 800 pound steers $141, $158. 7 800 pound heifers $141, $144. Packer cows 68 to 78. Canner and Cutter cows 60 to 67. Packer bulls 84 to 91. Feeder bulls 70 to 78. Top half the cow-calf pairs $1,100 to $1,400 per pair. Top half the bred cows $1,000 to $1,225 per head. We do appreciate the business, and we'll talk to you next Monday morning. This is Smiley Wooten, Roswell Livestock Auction.
Hey, if you're like most New Mexicans who don't have health insurance, it's probably because you think you can't afford it. Well, thanks to federal and now state-funded financial assistance, health insurance is more affordable than ever. In fact, most uninsured New Mexicans can get very low-cost or even no-cost health insurance from quality brand-name insurance companies you know and trust. Let the friendly and knowledgeable team at BeWellNM guide you through the process. Our help is free. Visit BeWellNM.com today.
Chimera Independent Physicians offers world-class health care right here in Roswell. With their state-of-the-art facility, your family can receive expert care from many specialty doctors and experts covering oncology, hematology, neurology, rheumatology, endocrinology, primary care, and internal medicine. Lab services, radiology, and infusion center, all without leaving our community. Chimera Independent Physicians, located at 400 Military Heights Place, near the corner of Country Club and Military Heights in Roswell.
Here's a Mornings with Mike Winters fun fact. Linen can absorb up to 20 times its weight in moisture before it feels damp. Now, you don't have to get up in the middle of the night to go to the bathroom anymore. Here's Mike Winters.
Joining us in studio from the Chavez County Extension Office, Tamara Schubert, and also Arlene Rowland as well. She's one of the Extension Club groups there. Good morning, ladies.
Good morning.
How's everybody doing today?
It is cold.
It is cold.
Yeah.
But at least it makes it feel like holidays when you do the holiday magic, or not holiday magic, the kitchen the holiday creations. I'm going to get all the names
Showcase.
in there.
Christmas showcase.
But yeah, so tomorrow is the big event. If you've never heard of this before, how many years now has the Extension Office been doing this holiday creations?
10 to 15.
So each year they have like a workshop showcase. And they do 2 sessions, one during the afternoon after lunch and then one after work. And hopefully you've pre-registered. Is there any slots available?
They can still purchase tickets today and tomorrow morning at the office, or they can purchase them at the door.
And so So you still got time to get in for either the afternoon or the evening sessions tomorrow. But what it is you go and they have like round robin booths that you go and learn or is it more just pick up the different?
No, they have different presenters.
Yeah.
They do have different presenters, but they present to the whole audience.
Yeah, and so the booths come to you. You don't go to the booths.
Right.
So they have the different presentations, and it's all holiday ideas and things. Could be food, could be like decor, could be gifts.
Yes.
It runs the gamut, all things holiday. And the cool part is when you're done, you get a book that's got all of the recipes, all of the instructions, all of the things that y'all were shown and talked about. You got the Bible that teaches you how to do all of that. Each year is completely different.
It is.
And each book is different. So over the years, the books themselves have become collector's items. So so if you're trying to track down old ones, there might be people there at the event that can maybe help you track down some of those.
We do still have past years. Some of them are still in the office.
Okay.
So if they're looking, if they missed a year and they just really want it, come talk to us.
Gotcha. So
I still use many of the recipes from back years.
Yeah, I would
granola
imagine.
is one of them.
Well, and it's all timeless stuff, you know, and it's like so. And I imagine many a family tradition or family
recipe
or family thing has come out of these books each year. So if you have never been to one, then make tomorrow your first one, and then start your collection and get on each year. But if you've been, then here's your 2-minute warning. So tomorrow's the date. Make sure you come on out. Now, give the pertinent details, the times, and how to sign up and all that good stuff.
Right. So there's 2 sessions, one at 1:30 and one at 6:30. So those that don't drive at night, they can come join us during the day. It will be out at the new Hobson's Hall building, which is the pavilion out at Eastern Fairgrounds.
Yeah, the new building has a name now, Hobson's
Yes, it
Hall,
does.
so we can stop calling it new building. So now they can build a new building, and we'll call that new building.
Yes, please. Yep.
I'll go for that.
So they can pre-purchase tickets, like I said, at the extension office today and tomorrow morning, or they can purchase them at the door. If they pre-purchase them, they get to skip the line, which it's cold. You can go right in.
Well, and that way you guarantee you got a spot. You're good to go, and you don't have to worry about anything. So go ahead and get your advance tickets. But like you said, if your schedule's like, I don't know, my Tuesday's a little busy. I want to go, but I'm not guaranteed I can sneak in. Then get your tickets at the door if you can make it there at after lunch or at 6:30 later that evening. Either one. So depending on your work schedule or life schedule there, whatever works out best for you. But great thing is they'll be out there this year there in the fairgrounds there in the Hobson Hall. So you can plenty of parking, plenty of room, plenty of spaces, plenty of things to see and do, and all that stuff while you're there. So I'm kind of curious, how do you guys come up with the list that goes in the book? What is it a group of people that kind of decide? How does that process happen?
So Christmas Showcase is presented and offered through our extension clubs here in Travis County, which is a group of community members. We have 5 clubs right now in Travis County. Through those 5 clubs, we have 10 members that sit on a Christmas Showcase committee.
Okay.
And it's broken down into quick and easy sewing gifts, treasured gifts, decor ideas, and foods.
Okay.
And so we have a couple that sit in each category, and as a group, they come up with everything that's going in it.
Gotcha. Well, I imagine it gets, now because you've been doing this for quite a few years now, the trick is to make sure you haven't done one already. Like you're saying, wait a minute, didn't we do those cookies back in 97 or something like that, you know what I mean? Or in 02 or whatever it was, you know? And so there's so many things, but I imagine there's sometimes you're like, oh, wait a minute, we got better double check, go back and see we didn't accidentally already do that one.
Well, we have some that are favorite things too that have come up that, well, can you do that again?
Back by popular demand. Yeah, sure. Yeah. Because there's some and you're like, and especially if people, I lost the book, I don't have it anymore.
Right.
I've lost that recipe for these cookies or for that project. And that's the thing. These projects are, especially like your arts and crafts, it's not all, a lot of it's family stuff too. So if you're looking for things to do with your kids during the Christmas holiday, creating or doing these kind of things, these all incorporate that too. So if you're looking to impress your friends and relatives with stuff, they've got you covered. But if you're trying to get the family involved and say, hey, these are family projects we want to do during the Christmas season here, they've got it all for you. So if you're looking for family ideas, if you're looking for food and traditions to start here, the Christmas Showcase is made for you. This is what it's made for.
And bring your family out, too.
Yeah, so bring your family with you.
Well, I don't want to give anything for this year away, but last year one of the things they did was make a Christmas tree using just yarn. And wrapped and in and out to make different designs.
Sure.
But very definitely something the kids could help with and come up and do.
So I'm curious, are everybody on the committee, are they all crafters and cooks and things? Are they all do these things at home, I'm guessing?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
But you don't have to be terribly crafty to do it because many of the things that they present are going to be ones that are easily directions easily followed.
But I imagine coming up with the ideas.
But the ladies are pretty talented.
Because, and I imagine a lot of it's probably traditions your own families have had over the years and say, I'd like to, it's something we did.
Right.
I think others would like this too.
Right.
You know?
Right. Especially our cooks. They have some great background family recipes, and they've done some over the years that have been big hits.
Yeah, I would imagine too. Although I'm one of those people like, I just want the one that makes it so I can eat it. You know.
Well, you do get door prizes when you come, and some of that is the food that they
so you get to
talk
try
about.
and sample, come peckish because you get to try a few things and all that. I mean, and that's the beauty of it. Is you get to experience Christmas in November and then take this home and make this Christmas magic in your own homes and things.
Yeah, we set up a table that has some of the samples of the things that are presented, and everybody gets to go through the line.
Okay.
And sample all of it.
There is a small cost. It's how much is it again?
$5.
$5 here, but you get the book.
You get the book.
So you're basically paying $5 for the book. I mean, the $5 covers the whole event and everything, yes. but for $5 you get the book. And the book is highly coveted, I'm telling you, that get you where you keep like everyone has that file cabinet with important papers. Usually keep like deeds and birth certificates and stuff. Make a folder and put these books in there with it. That way you've got them there and all that kind of stuff. That way when Christmas rolls out next year and you're looking for ideas, and first go to next year's. But then if you're like, go back and pick through the older books, and find some stuff there too.
Well, and everyone has a new theme. So all of the craft ideas and food nutrition ideas kind of revolve around that theme. So they're different. They're different every year.
So do some of the foods cover because I know with your side of things and healthy eating and all that, and your kitchen creations and that side, do some of the recipes sometimes fall into the good boy or girl list, or are they all?
So we try to pick a variety.
Well, it is the holidays, and you want to enjoy a little and have a little bit of things that normally you don't eat all the time. But that is the season. But I know some people are like, it's Thanksgiving and Christmas are just days of just falling off wagons on diets here, but maybe there's ways you can, or even I would imagine take some of these recipes that you do and you're like, okay, I'm trying to make it a little, and then swap out ingredients for a more diabetic or a healthier option for folks like that.
Well, like last year we had a charcuterie board.
Okay.
And so it had cheeses, crackers, how to arrange nicely the grapes and strawberries, things that
all the
that
healthy
are healthy, healthy eating. Yeah.
I saw a joke online the other day. It said the charcuterie is French for sandwich without bread. I don't have any bread. That's what it was. It was French for I don't have any bread.
You're pretty good. That's great.
But I know way I love meats and cheeses, so it's all good to me. But yeah, that's so. But please come and especially if you're a new family and you're looking to create your own traditions and things. This is your first Christmas together with the married couple or with the children or something like that, and you want to do create your own traditions and set your own unique things here. Come out tomorrow and get some ideas. That's the great part about it is you get to learn and incorporate. Because I think all of us have some kind of tradition. If you're an adult, you did as a kid some kind of Christmas or something, and you kind of wanted to bring that. Now that I'm an adult, I want to do this with my children, and so you get that. But then you can take some of this and add to it here, and just add to the the food and all that, or just whatever it is. That's what I love about it, and that's why it's popular. So please, if you get your tickets in advance, only $5. Give out the way to get the advance tickets again.
So they can pick them up at the office at this point at 200 East Chisholm. We're in suite number 4. We're the far side of the health department that's out there.
If you want to call ahead and say, hey, you guys open, I want to get some tickets, and you can say, hey, I'm going to come by and get 2, and then come by and get 2, or whatever it is you're going to get. Or 5, or 50, or whatever it is that you need here. But and then come on out to the new Hobson Hall, which is there on the Eastern New Mexico State Fairgrounds. Come on out tomorrow, 1:30 and 6:30 tomorrow. Get there a few minutes early. Plenty of parking.
Yes.
Are they having people go through the main entrance or the vendor entrance, or
So they'll go through that very far entrance, the red gate, and they'll come down on that end, and then they can park anywhere.
Good deal. Just follow the group of cars. They'll take you right in there, and then you get. And trust me, you're gonna bring the whole family. You're gonna love it. And fellas, you're gonna like it too. I know a lot of you. Don't drive me. I'm gonna sit here. But then you start eating some of the food and start going, all right, that's kind of cool. All right, I kind of like. Hey, can you do? The next thing you know what? Now I'm thinking about it. If you're just trying to do your own Christmas, maybe leave the spouse at home to say that way, because they're going to be like, can you do this, this, and this? Like, I've already got this, So if you got a set plan, maybe, but if not, if you're looking for, please bring the whole family, bring the kids, and maybe you can whet the kids' appetites on some of the projects and say, oh, you want to do that? Well, we will, if you're good. Tis that season. You gotta
be on the list.
Tis the season, right? You can use this, parents, use this to your advantage. All of us did growing up. We were all under that same, you better be good this next month. So, very good. But talk a little bit about some of the other stuff you guys are doing right now too, because I do want to get all the things that you guys do on people's radar here.
Right.
If you're looking, with the diabetic, the kitchen creations, and that's where Tamara's. That's her side of things. Drew can help you out when it comes to weevils and gardening. And of course, Andrew can help out with all the FFA, all of the 4-H stuff here. And
so
all
we
of
do.
That stuff.
We have a lot going on. So 4-H enrollment is open right now for our new year. So we encourage all of those kids, 5 to 18-year-olds, to get signed up. There's 230 something projects that they can do through us.
That's all?
We do.
Only 230.
We do encourage them to get signed up early so that they can dive into those things. Some of our family consumer sciences projects start in January with our quilting and our sewing. Those classes start in January.
Now's the time to get on those lists and get signed up.
And I know, if they're interested in shooting sports right now, we're having safety trainings and stuff for them to start their practices as well. So Now's the time to get signed up if they're interested in doing some of those projects.
Yeah, we've had a chance to interview some of those kids and everything that have been a part of the shooting sports, and great group. They have a lot of fun and pretty good too. But they're kind of a cohesive little clique almost, and that's kind of so. If you're looking for that kind of camaraderie and stuff, 4-H and has all of their 238 different ones,
something like that. Mm-hmm.
They all have that unique feel and kind of that groups and meeting friends and all that. So if you're looking for social as much as you are looking for
Definitely.
the
Come
skills
join us.
of these different different groups here, that's the part of it here. If you're looking to make new friends and meet new people and do all that 4-H is as much of that as it is, getting these kids prepared to be adults in whatever path they choose.
Well, we have that option for adults too through our extension clubs.
That's
so
true.
If they're interested in being part of the community and doing things, join one of our extension clubs. They do community service projects. They do craft projects at their meetings.
Come for the Christmas showcase. Stay for the camaraderie and meet new people and all that kind of stuff tomorrow. Yeah.
They offer scholarships in the spring for our kids as well. So our extension clubs are doing a lot. On Drew's end, typically we would have library this weekend. So gardening at the library, that one's going to be rescheduled.
Okay, for
so
December,
we're going to skip November and we'll pick back up December the 17th at the library.
That's all right. Everyone's going to be thinking about turkey on the brain this month anyway. So
the other things that we've got going on is Wednesday this week. They can join us at the library for the 4-H day at the library.
Yes. What time are you guys taking over the library here?
So we will be out there at 3
p.m. right after school here.
We're doing nature art and corn husk dolls.
Okay.
So if they want to come join us, materials are free.
Great.
And it's free for anybody 5 to 18.
Fall decor for your Thanksgiving there.
Absolutely.
The kids can get involved with and all that. And again, that's this Wednesday, 3 p.m. at the Roswell Public Library. First come, first serve, completely free. Come on down and bring the family and bring the kids down and after school here and do these projects. And while you're there at the library for 4-H Day, grab their calendar at the front desk. And then you can learn about all the other different things they've got going on. Because just about every weekend they've got things going on for adults, kids, and kids that want to be adults that aren't adults yet. So,
or adults that want to be kids.
Yeah, exactly. Or vice versa. They keep growing on us. Very good. And of course, if you have any questions about anything related to 4-H, anything related to ag stuff, if you need to know about getting your bug spray certifications, all that kind of stuff, or if you're worried about your pecans, if they've got weevils in them or any of that kind of stuff, Drew can take care of you on that side. Call the extension office.
Absolutely.
He'll help you out there. And then, of course, any questions 4-H related, getting your kids involved, or maybe you want to be a volunteer and help out. They're always, there's so many clubs and different things. We can make 300 clubs if we got, the interest in the things that are going on here. So if you have an interest there, reach out too.
Well, and we're always looking for volunteers that have those unique skill sets. Mm-hmm. We utilize several volunteers through our shooting sports program, but we also have ones that come in and teach woodworking for the kids and cake decorating. So in braiding, Arlene is our braiding leader, but we've got welding volunteers that come in and teach the kids. So if they've got skills, reach out to us.
Absolutely.
Let us know. We'd love to use those.
Yeah. And all these translate to, if they want to pursue careers in these things, now they've got the base foundation to pursue that.
Right.
any way they want. Like, you're talking small engine repair there. You know how valuable a skill that is to have these day and age,
Amen.
Even if you're not going to grow up to be a mechanic, how great would it be handy that you don't have to pay somebody $500 to look at your lawnmower or $600, got to buy a new weed whacker every time I go out because I keep breaking this thing, or, dirt bike riding or any of those, all that small engine repair. So that's a good skill set. And I don't know if they're as modern. Like, you got to have an engineering degree to work on a car nowadays because of all the computers. Small engines still the nuts and bolts of, of the way mechanics used to be, where, everything was mechanical. And, that doesn't work. There's a valve to fix, or there's a wiring
belt
harness
or a pulley
to
or
replace.
something that's,
not a computer to swap out.
One of the other projects is electricity, learning how to make a simple battery and how it works, etc. Yeah, there's a lot. It goes to computer programming. Even.
Sure. Yeah,
so there's things that you don't normally think of.
Yeah, it's not
4-H
all about animals and farm and ranch and that kind of stuff. It's high tech. Yeah. It's life. If people are doing it in life, then 4-H is doing it in 4-H. Yeah. That's kind of how it goes there. So
there's some good STEM curriculum out of university too. We have a large contingent of homeschool kids in Chaves County, and that has some good resources there.
Sure. And of course, because of Robert's rules and the way that the meetings are handled.
They learn how to do that.
Parliamentary procedure and all that. That's all kind of side effects of being a part of 4-H and learning that kind of stuff too. So even if your goals are to be a statesman or a politician or something like that, 4-H might give you the foundation to set you up for the next level here.
Well, and if we have any ladies that are out there that are looking to expand their crafting skills and or cooking skills, just to one of the problems of being an adult and maybe not in the workplace right now is you don't have a good avenue for making long-lasting relationships with other people, and our extension clubs are a group of ladies that some common interests, some different backgrounds, etc. That we come together, learn all kinds of the skills that Tamara's been talking about: the sewing, the crafting, the gardening. I learned that you can get a stainless steel shaped bar that you can rub your hands on, and it takes all the onion smell and fish smell out of your hands.
Wow.
How do you like that? Yeah.
Some people could use that. You just leave those around like fishmonger places and stuff and see how that works out. But you're right. That's the beauty of 4-H. It's as much the social and the life side as it is you learning a particular skill or things like that. It's that learning, and this is what's great for adults and children. For children, it's getting them. Let's face it, we live in a world now, and I know I'm getting soapboxy here, but we live in a world now where everyone's on a phone or on a tablet. You know what I mean? And everybody communicates in 3 sentences in a text or on something like that. And let's face it, our younger generations are lacking some of that people skills and talking and things that we just learn by living because life is different now. It's some of those things. So to kind of, because let's face it, we're not going to stop anybody. I mean, we're all even on phones and everything. We're all going to do that. That's the way of the future. But to help mitigate and to get them people skills, how to talk to people, how to interact, how to problem solve, how to do the things that they don't teach you in school per se, as a formal class. This is where 4-H and organizations like it shine, because this is they get to talk, they get to interact, they get to share their feelings, they get to solve problems together, they get to introduce problems, they get to hang out and do social things. All of that makes the kids and adults better, well-rounded people, and that's what it's about. Did we get it?
Yes, sir.
You hit the nail right on the head. How's that for?
So come on out tomorrow.
Yes.
Tomorrow is the big Christmas showcase. This is it for 2022. if you miss out tomorrow, then you have to wait till next November. So it is tomorrow, 1:30 and 6:30 p.m. They're both exactly the same, so you can go to either one. You can go to both if you want, but if you're like, man, the one at 6:30 is a lot like the one at 1:30, because it is. And that way you can get your $5. You can pre-register by calling and coming by the extension office this morning today. If you space out, just show at the door at 1:30 tomorrow or 6:30, and we'll get you in if room's available. Just saying, if there's a packed full of people, you might have to wait a few minutes, but to guarantee, just go and get your tickets today. But and then be there at 1:30. You're going to get to hear all of the presentations, and of course get the coveted craft book that's got all the recipes, all the directions, all the instructions for all the stuff you learn there. And then, of course, if you're trying to hunt down older books, reach out to the extension staff there, and maybe they can dig through their archives and see what they've got available still there for you and stuff like that too. So.
Well, and your $5 gets you in the door, gets you the book, gets you qualified for door prizes, gets you samples from the food table. And then we have our quilt raffle, which goes to the extension scholarships for the kids.
It's a beautiful quilt, as it always is. I mean, you think the people extension office don't know how to quilt? There's somebody over there knows how to quilt in their quilt. You're the quilter, aren't you? Or
we do have a quilt club.
Okay.
Yes, as extension.
But you're one of the quilters,
yes,
right?
We did.
Yeah, because I think we talked about that before. She's the one in there with the tired hands. Although, how much of that's done more modern now? Like is quilting still old school with the quilting circles? There are machines that do all that now. I know
depends on who you are.
Gotcha. So that some people are traditionalists and say no.
So they do have some long-on quilting machines that help with the load and stuff. My house does not have those.
Gotcha.
So,
You're like, nope. I keep it the way of the tradition. Gotcha. I get it. No, it makes sense because, again, quilting circles were the social circles of the era. You know what I mean? This is yeah, we can do it easier, but then we don't get to hang out for 6 hours, you know? That's how it is. So good deal. Is there anything we missed? Anything we wanted to share? Anything we wanted to cover that I got sidetracked on? Or
I think that was it.
Okay, good deal. Well, thank you very much. And come on out tomorrow again. Hobson Hall at the Eastern New Mexico State Fairgrounds, 1:30 and 6:30 tomorrow. Go by the Chaves County Extension Office on Chisholm. It's
200 East.
200 East
Suite 4.
Chisholm, Suite 4. And come by, get your tickets today. If you forget, don't worry. Tickets will be available at the door. You just got to get in line. And then you'll be in the longer line.
Yes.
Short line, people already got tickets. So if you want to be in the short line with the cool kids, get your tickets in advance.
There you go.
But if you want to, if you're like, I don't have time, I don't have time today, come on down. We'll get you in. You'll get all the cool stuff, and it'll be the best $5 you ever spent.
Absolutely.
So good deal. Well, thank you, ladies.
Thank you.
I'm sure you got about 10 fires to stomp out to get ready for tomorrow. So we'll let you go do that.
It's setup day. Yes.
Well, that's where you get these young backs from these 4-H clubs to get in there and start moving chairs and everything. It's like this is the advantage of youth. Come on, kids. Thank you, guys. Right. Appreciate you. We'll see you.
Oil field fire that broke out Monday near Malaga and Loving. Eddy County Fire and Rescue posted pictures of the fire on their Facebook page, saying the flames broke out in a tank battery. Fire crews remained on the scene for more than 13 hours fighting the blaze. The chief of New Mexico State Police is admitting that mistakes were made leading up to the death of Officer Darian Jarrett during a traffic stop in Deming last year. Chief Tim Johnson said in a newly released court deposition that took place back in August that Jarrett would likely still be alive today if there had been better communication and decision-making in sending him out alone to find a man named Omar Cueva. Cueva was known to be a meth user who carried guns. Cueva fatally shot Jarrett and then led police on a chase from Deming to Las Cruces, which ended in a gun battle. Cueva died in the shooting with police. You're up to date. I'm Jared Sorello.
Are you following the ultra-left silly reactions to Elon Musk and Twitter? Stand by for the best reactions so far. I'm Kim Commando, brought to you by T-Mobile. Their advanced network now goes farther than ever before. Visit T-Mobile.com/55 today. Twitter is losing $4 million a day. It's never been profitable. Job one for Elon Musk is cutting the budget to avoid bankruptcy. He's cut the Twitter staff in half. That sent the left into orbit. In reality, that is not so far-fetched. Right before Christmas. Now, Musk is stopping Twitter's ridiculous free meal program. Highly compensated employees were eating free all day, every day. The cost to the company, $13 million a year. Now, here's the fun part. One Democratic activist in New York tweeted that when canceling the free meals, Musk is actually trying to starve the remaining staff. And you thought things were out of control before the election. Need tech support you can trust? Get help now at getkimshelp.com.
These days, every new potential hire can feel like a high-stakes wager for your small business. You want to be 100% certain that you have access to the best qualified candidates available. That's why you have to check out LinkedIn Jobs. LinkedIn Jobs helps find the right people for your team faster and for free. Add your job in the purple hashtag hiring frame to your LinkedIn profile to spread the word that you're hiring. Simple tools like screening questions make it easy to focus on candidates with just the right skills and experience so you can quickly prioritize who you'd like to interview and hire. It's why small businesses rate LinkedIn Jobs #1 in delivering quality hires versus leading competitors. LinkedIn Jobs helps you find the candidates worth interviewing. Did you know every week, nearly 40 million job seekers visit LinkedIn? Post your job for free at linkedin.com/Kim. That's linkedin.com/Kim to post your job for free. Terms and conditions apply. The address again, linkedin.com/Kim. LinkedIn.com/Kim.
I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton with your Pecos Valley weather. We have high pressure moving in from the central plains with cool air, so we'll stay in the upper 40s for the afternoon high today, but it should be pretty nice. A few clouds and some sunshine. Partly cloudy and cold for the overnight hours, dropping into the upper 20s, and then Wednesday looks about the same. Sunshine, maybe a few clouds, and our afternoon high in the upper 40s again. We'll bounce back to the mid-50s and sunny Thursday. That's your latest forecast. I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton.
It's time for the Chaves County Sports Report. Well, yesterday we devoted our time to the state champions that were crowned on Saturday, the Goddard Rockets volleyball team, Gateway Christian football team, and Gateway Christian volleyball team. Now let's turn our attention to the football games that were played on Saturday and Friday and Saturday at the Wool Bowl. Goddard lost their game against Deming 28-13, a surprise because Goddard had beat Deming earlier in the season. So Goddard finishes the campaign 6-5. Overall. Roswell, meanwhile, throttles Anthony Gadsden by a 53-0 count. Roswell will take on Piedra Vista in the state semifinal this Saturday at the Wool Bowl. That starts at 1 o'clock. They met earlier this year. Roswell beat Piedra Vista 32-14. That was Piedra Vista's only loss of the season. The Sports Report brought to you by DSI. Call DSI for all your office technology needs. I'm Eric Butler at Roswell's Talk FM 106.5.
With the Wall Street Business Report, I'm Bill Alexander. Stocks fell on Wall Street Monday, giving back some of their huge gains made last week on hopes the worst of the nation's inflation is ending. Amazon is planning to lay off more than 10,000 employees in corporate and technology jobs starting as soon as this week, the New York Times reported on Monday, citing people with knowledge of the matter. Nearly 48,000 unionized academic workers at all 10 University of California campuses walked off the job Monday, calling for better pay and benefits. The strike by researchers, tutors, and teaching assistants threatens to disrupt classroom and laboratory instruction across the statewide university system. Tyson Foods' board of directors is overseeing a review of the recent arrests of the chief financial officer, John R. Tyson, on charges that he trespassed at a young woman's house while intoxicated in Arkansas. For the Wall Street Business Report, I'm Bill Alexander in Washington.
Jennifer from Trustmark Roofing here, and I can tell you it's not always easy being a female in a male-dominated business like roofing. I remember one time I was at a meeting to bid on the roof for a local college, and it was me and 13 men. Well, I won that bid, and I'd like to win your business too. My dad was a contractor, and I've been around building and roofing my whole life. I'm licensed and bonded, and I've forgotten more about roofing than most roofers ever knew in the first place. But what really sets Trustmark apart is an obsessive attention to detail that ensures that everything goes smoothly the first time. I promise we will treat you right with respect, and we will make you happy. So yeah, it might be a bit odd for a woman to own a roofing company, but give us a try. Let us give you an estimate for your roof. I think you'll be glad you called. For all your roofing needs, call us at 575-755-ROOF or find us online at trustmarkroofpros.com.
Trustmark Roofing, we put people first.
Over the next several weeks, we want to give you 5 key elements to a great marriage. This is taken from an article by Drs. Les and Leslie Perot. Hi, this is Pastor Troy and Julie Smotherman for The Joy of Marriage. The first one is ownership, taking responsibility for the good as well as the bad.
1 Corinthians 11:31 says, "Judge yourself so you won't be judged." It's talking about the judgment of God, but it also applies to our relationships, especially the ones that are closest to us, like marriage. If you'll just take responsibility for your own actions, it's so much easier for our spouses not to have to point out and criticize us.
So we have to take responsibility for our actions and our reactions, our attitudes and our mistakes. You know, most people would learn from their mistakes if they weren't so busy denying them.
You aren't responsible for what your spouse does. You are responsible for doing your part. So just decide today to do your part and take ownership.
Fall is here, but it's not too late to get to Graves Farm and Garden and stock up on green chili in mild, medium, or hot, as well as dried red chili, perfect for Thanksgiving and seasonal recipes. Plus, firewood by the cord, delivered and stacked. Now's the time to stock up on hay bales with Sudan and alfalfa in both small and large bales. And the Graves Farm store is open Monday through Saturday, 8:30 to 5:30, and Sundays 1 to 5. 7.5 miles south of Roswell on the Old Dexter Highway. Graves Farm and Garden, where locally owned means locally grown. The state championship semifinals are set. And coming up this Saturday, your Roswell Coyotes look to keep it alive, taking on the Panthers of Piedra Vista High. 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM will have coverage of this state championship semifinal matchup. Join Art Sandoval and Kelly McDonald for the pregame at 12:30 and kickoff at 1. Coyotes versus the Panthers of Piedra Vista High. Saturday beginning at 12:30 on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM with audio-only coverage at ksvptv.com. Southeastern New Mexico's sports authority, then, now, and always.
Here's a Mornings with Mike Winters fun fact. 1 in 3 snake bite victims is drunk. 1 in 5 is tattooed. Hold my beer and check this out. Here's Mike Winters.
And good morning. It is closing in on 7:58. Stay tuned next hour, about 8:15 or so. Donna Oracion with Eastern New Mexico University Roswell will join us and give us an update on what's happening at the campus there. Of course, they are doing the spring registration. That's underway now, so you can start getting ready for the spring and all that. But we'll talk a little bit talk more about that with Donna next hour. Hey, don't forget the Holiday Magic Art and Craft Show is happening this Friday and Saturday at the Eastern New Mexico State Fairgrounds. If it's their annual, they do it every year. They've been doing it for years. They admittance in with all the money that they raise from that goes to various youth organizations like the Purple Kids and all those others. There's several they go to, and it's like a who's who of crafters for decor gifts, food. The pumpkin rolls. That's what I think of when I think of the holiday magic is the pumpkin rolls, because I don't even like pumpkin. But I love those pumpkin rolls. Like, they're right there with chocolate in my world, and not many things are higher than chocolate in my world. So, and I always think of that when I think of the Holiday Magic Show. But it is this weekend out at the Eastern New Mexico State Fairgrounds. So, all those that come every year, this is your weekend. Come out there and have some fun, get some shopping done, and some great deals, and support some great youth groups in our community by coming out and being a part. So, it's always fun. It is closing in on 8 o'clock. Town Hall News coming up next. We will be back on the other side of news. I don't know if you want to call that a promise or a threat, depending on your proclivity, but we'll be back. Don't go away.
Hugh Hewitt is now in Roswell on 106.5 FM KEND Roswell.
News this hour from townhall.com. I'm Rich Thomason. Is former President Trump gearing up for another White House run? White House correspondent Greg Clugston in Palm Beach, Florida, says we'll find out later today.
After months of teasing the possibility of another presidential run, Donald Trump is set to make it official with what he calls a special announcement tonight at his Mar-a-Lago estate in Palm Beach, Florida. The announcement comes 1 week after the midterm elections, which were disappointing for Republicans and which have further divided the GOP over who to blame and who to embrace.
And the former president's announcement will be carried on many of these stations, and video will also be broadcast live on the Salem News Channel. Mr. Trump's announcement set for 9 tonight Eastern Time. Republicans on the verge of taking back control of the House, just 1 seat away. As the vote tally continues, 14 races undecided. Amid a surge of momentum for his troops, Ukrainian President Zelensky urging the G20 leaders to tighten the screws on Vladimir Putin.
Zelensky appeals to the G20 to take further steps to press for an end to Russia's war on Ukraine. The Ukrainian president has reiterated 10 conditions for ending the conflict that began in February, among them a complete withdrawal of Russian troops and full restoration of Ukrainian control of its territory. He also calls for an international conference to, he says, cement the key elements of the post-war security architecture in the Euro-Atlantic space, including guarantees for Ukraine. I'm Charles de Ledesma.
The October Producer Price Index shows that wholesale inflation cooled a bit more last month than analysts were expecting. Wall Street pleased with that. Right now, the Dow is up 366 points, and NASDAQ ahead 279. More on these stories at townhall.com.
Charlie Dombeck here from Key City Capital. As a practicing CPA for nearly 30 years, I have found that 80% of your ability to grow your wealth is dependent upon 2 factors: taxes and investment performance. At Key City Capital, we improve investment performance by diversifying capital into off-market investment opportunities in passive rental real estate and alternatives like asset-backed lending. We recover dollars that clients unnecessarily pay in the form of income taxes, creating a lifetime annuity of savings. We are a sponsor of passive, affordable single and multifamily residential rental investments, which are located in Sunbelt landlord-friendly states. These investments are the top choices in a rising interest rate and inflationary environment. They represent a store of value, protecting your capital from market volatility. Learn how we at Key City Capital can help you ultimately grow your wealth rapidly. Connect with me at keycitycapital.com or give me a call at 817-912-1569.
The sentencing process starts today for the man convicted of killing 6 people, injuring dozens more at a Christmas celebration in Wisconsin.
On November 21st of last year, Darrell Brooks drove his SUV through a Christmas parade in the Milwaukee suburb of Waukesha. He'll be sentenced for 6 counts of first-degree intentional homicide, which carries a mandatory life sentence in Wisconsin. The judge has discretion on 70 other charges and will make a decision after hearing victim impact statements. Brooks is facing 6 consecutive life sentences, plus more than 850 years in prison. Tasha Stevens reporting.
Turkish police have arrested more suspects in connection with a bomb attack on a busy pedestrian avenue in Istanbul. It killed 6 people, wounded several dozen others, bringing the number of people in custody to 50. Sunday's explosion targeting a popular thoroughfare lined with shops and restaurants. News and analysis, townhall.com. Well-known comedian is on the mend after an accident involving a beloved hobby of his.
Jay Leno has suffered serious burns in a gasoline fire, saying he needs, quote, a week or 2 to get back on his feet. The 72-year-old former Tonight Show host is known for his famed car collection, which is housed in a huge garage in Burbank. Details are sketchy, but it's believed Leno was working on a car at the time of the accident. Many fans may not know, but Jay Leno is not only a comedian, he is also a top-notch auto mechanic. Jason Walker reporting.
The United Nations says the world's population has reached the 8 billion mark today. Much of the growth expected between now and the year 2050 coming from just 8 countries. Half of those are in sub-Saharan Africa. More on these stories, townhall.com.
What
a wide, wide world of sports is going on here.
I promise you, whatever scum did this, not one man on this force will rest for 1 minute until he's behind bars. Now let's grab a bite to eat. Yeah, come on.
I feel the hot wind on my shoulder and the touch of a world that is older. I hit the switch and check the number. I leave it on and then I slumber. I hear the rhythm ringing through it. Flamenco guitar and cumbia music. I hear the talking of the DJ. The travel witch and what does he say? I'm on a Mexican radio. I'm on a Mexican radio.
Broadcasting live from high atop the J.P. White Building in downtown Roswell, New Mexico. It's Mornings with Mike Winters on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM.
Is that what I sound like when I talk?
Now, here's your host, Mike Winters.
And good morning. It is 6 minutes after 8 o'clock. Welcome to hour number 2, The Deuce, of Mornings with Mike Winters, right here on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM. Happy Tuesday.
Indeed.
Hope you're all having a wonderful day thus far.
Hope you're staying warm.
It is tad chilly out.
My car is doing something stupid. I don't know how to fix it.
Okay.
I'm also too stupid to do the math to figure it out.
What's it doing?
It's showing me my degrees in Celsius.
Oh.
It was -4 this morning. I don't know what it actually was, but it was -4 degrees Celsius with a high of 10 today, by the way.
So either learn how to change it or learn centigrade.
In my car, it's degrees, but when I plug my phone in for Android Auto, you stay out of this. When I plug my phone in for Android Auto, it goes to Celsius, and I'm not sure how to fix it. So
maybe your phone is
sure, I'll get it figured
European. All I can think of is the reboot Vacation movie where the car's Korean.
Oh, yeah.
It's like yelling at him every time he pushes the button.
It's beautiful language. It's absolutely
But it was
beautiful.
North Korean. It wasn't
Right.
South. It was like North Korean. So I think it had like German on it and all kind of stuff. Oh, man. Well, at least you don't have that problem.
Thought you were going to make the reference of from Letterkenny, which is out there, you're Canadian. In here, European.
I'd like to claim that joke. I've been doing that joke way before Letterkenny.
Yeah, well, yeah.
Like in the 90s. So I claim it. Letterkenny stole it from me.
A couple more I can't use from that one bit.
True that.
There's a place where certain people hang out.
Like 75% of the jokes on that show you can't air on a morning radio show.
But hey, Mornings with Mike Winters, nights.
Yeah.
After dark. After dark.
You know what? Speaking of celebrities, sort of. I just made the connection. I've been watching on demand the new season of, they rebooted VH1's Surreal Life.
Oh, really?
Yeah. It comes on, I think, Monday nights on VH1, really? But I just watch it on demand.
Who's on this year?
Dennis Rodman.
Oh, my God.
Let me think of the ones I remember.
Already off to a great start. Let me pull up this list.
There's some I don't really know. Like, they're not famous
Chris
to
Kattan
me.
make an appearance?
No. Dennis Rodman.
All right.
Stormy Daniels.
Wow, that is surreal.
Who else is on there?
Oh, my God. Really?
Who else?
Let's see.
There's some, like, TikTok people that I don't really
season
know
one.
who they
I'm
are.
trying to find the new ones.
Some guy that's, like, some kind of fashion guy. Tory Braxton's on there. Who else is it?
Let's see.
Jason Munoz, Malcolm in the Middle.
Frankie Muniz?
Frankie Muniz, that's it. He's one of them.
Oh my God. That's again, whatever happened to him?
Who else is in that?
All right, Dennis Rodman.
And then there's like a couple people I don't know. There's like a
Frankie Muniz, Tamar Braxton, Kim Coles, Stormy
Tamar
Daniels,
Braxton, that's it.
August Alsina. Oh, Mandy Mua, who is a makeup artist on YouTube. The only reason I know about Mandy is because my kid's mom follows him.
Okay.
And CJ Perry. Who? Wait, is that CJ Perry? Hold on. CJ Perry. Isn't that Lana from... Hold on.
I don't know.
CJ Perry. I think...
I'd have to see his face.
No, she's a professional dancer. That's Lana. Okay, so...
Oh, from Living Single.
No, Lana from WWE. She won.
Oh, yeah. She's in there,
The one who's married to Rusev.
And the girl from Living Single,
Miro.
whatever, I can't remember the actress's name.
I was like, CJ Perry, I know that name.
Yeah,
okay.
she's the WWE wrestler.
Yeah, well, she was. She got fired, but now she's married to Miro, who's in AEW.
Okay.
So that's that's definitely an eclectic cast.
It is. Well, I watched the first 3 episodes.
Uh-huh.
I think the 4th one just dropped last night. And it was all about Dennis Rodman's mental health, pretty much, and lack thereof.
I feel like a show like this doesn't really work in the sensibilities of 2022 because we're not laughing at people's struggles anymore.
Yeah, no.
Or at least we're not supposed to.
This one's like this is like therapy boot camp almost, except for there's nobody running the therapy. It's just them running around this
talking
house
about their own problems,
acting like celebrities. I think they're in there a week or 2 weeks maybe. I don't know the length of stay, and then of course they send them on adventures to go. It was like this real life from before.
See,
they live in the house and drink booze and then get drunk and yell at each other.
That's the level of celebrity I want. I want to be famous for a minute, and then like infamous for the rest of my career, just making like $10,000 to do 2 weeks in a house.
Celebrity rehab or celebrity surreal life.
Yeah, they seem like they got it, man.
Celebrity
case in point,
wife swap or whatever.
I was watching I don't know what it was, but it was like a UK version of this essentially. Basically, it was a bunch of celebrities. It might have been I'm a Celebrity, Get Me Out of Here.
Yeah, that one I think started in Europe, and then we did it for a minute when like Survivor and all that was like hot mainstream.
I was watching this is where this came up. I was watching the Jimmy Savile documentary.
Yes.
And
he did one of those.
That's what I'm saying. Is he popped into one of those like I'm a Celebrity shit. He was like, oh, you're Jimmy Savile. And then Dennis Rodman was one of the dudes that was hanging out in the house.
Yeah.
It's like you're just popping up everywhere.
Oh, well, Rodman's internationally known.
Well,
he's A-level.
I actually watched the Basketball Diplomacy Vice documentary.
Yeah.
It's pretty good.
Was it? I didn't see that one.
It's pretty entertaining.
Some of those get into the weeds on me, some of the Vice documentaries.
But what's great is because Shane Smith, who was, I thought, banned for life from ever going back to North Korea because of the first documentary he put out back in like the mid-2000s for his first trip. He's back. He goes back in and, is sitting there at the Ari Rang with the delegation, watching the basketball game go down and all this. And so it's very surreal. I love any of those documentaries where crews go into North Korea because it's always just like edge of your seat. Something's about to happen. And those are fun.
Like Conan. That's the one I like.
I don't think I've ever watched Conan's.
I saw the Conan one. It's not the seriousness of which you...
Well, that's the thing is I'd like to see how far he can push it.
The one that made me laugh the hardest, when he's sitting like at the DMZ, he's sitting right there, and the North Korean military guards and everything, they're like dressed in their full dress uniforms in the black with the... And Conan walked up to one of them, and I don't know if the guy understood English or not. He just said, "You look like a backup dancer in a Janet Jackson video."
It's pretty good.
It made me laugh. Part of me wants to have the guy understand it just so he can, but I don't know if he did or not. So.
This just in.
I
have it on good authority. This coming Saturday, you can catch your Roswell Coyotes in semifinal playoff action.
It's official.
With streaming video.
Oh, good.
At ksvptv.com.
So we just got official word. We can
from
purchase the rights for the Coyotes playoff game Saturday.
Yep. We
good.
Got the word from on high. So
that means for the Roswell Coyote football game Saturday afternoon when they take on Piedra Vista here at the Wool Bowl, we will be able to bring that to you right here on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM on the radio. That was going to happen regardless.
Yep.
But now it is official. We're allowed to video stream the game as well. We're able to purchase the rights. We get the right to buy them.
That's right.
So we can bring them to you.
The right to buy the rights to our home stadium.
Yes. So we're going to buy them, and then we will present that to you this Saturday. So, Tanner, I guess if you hadn't heard yet either, you're on video on Saturday. All right, it is 8:15. Let's go ahead and get you up to date on the weather.
I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton with your Pecos Valley weather. We have high pressure moving in from the central plains with cool air, so we'll stay in the upper 40s for the afternoon high today, but it should be pretty nice. A few clouds and some sunshine. Partly cloudy and cold for the overnight hours, dropping into the upper 20s, and then Wednesday looks about the same. Sunshine, maybe a few clouds, and our afternoon high in the upper 40s again. We'll bounce back to the mid-50s and sunny Thursday. That's your latest forecast. I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton.
Thank you, Steve. Currently 31 degrees here in Roswell. Humidity is at 69%. Winds currently out of the north at 5 miles per hour. Today, going to be chillier than yesterday, but less wind, so I think it's a wash. Partly cloudy today, 48 for a high. Winds out of the northeast, 5 to 10 miles per hour. For tonight, mostly cloudy. Overnight low of 28 degrees. Southeast winds at around 5 miles per hour. For you Wednesday, cooler again, 44 for a high tomorrow under partly cloudy skies. East winds at around 5 miles per hour. Mostly clear tomorrow night with an overnight low of 26 degrees. West winds at around 5 miles per hour. Thursday actually looking like our warm day of the week. And by warm, I mean mid-50s. Sunny and 55 for a high on Thursday. South winds 5 to 10. Friday, we're back down into the 40s. Mostly cloudy, high of only 40 on Friday. And then for the weekend, mostly sunny, 44 on Saturday. And then for Sunday, back in the low 50s, 53 sunny there. So when you do go out to watch playoff football on Saturday, bundle up. Might be a little chilly. And, of course, NMMI, they play at 6. I think at the Wool Bowl on Saturday as well. We'll carry that for you on our online at KSVPTV.com and all that, too. So we got another full Saturday for you, so bundle up. All right, it is 17 minutes after 8 o'clock. Let's take about a 2.5-minute commercial break. Then Donna Oracion with Eastern New Mexico University Roswell will join us on the other side. Don't go away. You're listening to Mornings with Mike Winters.
If a sports injury is keeping you from the physical activities you love, the sports medicine team at Artesia General Hospital can help. Their orthopedic specialists and physical therapists work closely with you throughout diagnosis and treatment. No matter the injury, from ACL injuries, golfers and tennis elbow to foot and ankle pain, they'll get you back in the game. Appointments are available in Artesia or Carlsbad. Request an appointment at artesiageneral.com/sports.
December 17th is National Wreaths Across America Day. On this day, wreaths are placed on the graves of fallen veterans around the country. Locally, American Legion Post 61 has a goal of placing 300 wreaths on the graves of veterans in Roswell, with special attention paid to veterans at Memory Lawn Memorial Park. Please help American Legion Post 61 by sponsoring a wreath this holiday season. Cost is only $15 per wreath, but the important thing you need to know is to get your sponsorship in by November 29th. Log on to roswelllegion.org to sponsor a wreath today. Thank you for helping support our mission.
Sure, you can inspect your own roof, get out that rickety ladder, crawl around up there and try to spot the problem until... Or you could call the experts at Do Right Roofing. Do Right Roofing has quality products for any type of roof. They can even install seamless gutters. Do Right Roofing will inspect your roof and give you a free estimate fast. Keep your feet on the ground. Call Do Right Roofing today.
575-623-2273. Let Do Right do your roof right.
Find them fast in names and numbers.
Hi, I'm Dr. Keanu Carabelli Dental. Same-day smiles are what we do. My passion is helping patients chew, talk, and live with confidence. That's why I'm one of the few doctors in the U.S. who can create beautiful same-day smiles with the latest digital implant technology. This procedure is life-changing. Just ask Sean.
Hi, I'm Sean. I've been that voice that you've heard on the radio for most of my life, but I'm also a dad to 2 amazing kids. I've had a million reasons to smile, but in all my old pictures, I was never smiling. Truth is that life of improper care and being dealt a bad hand genetically left me practically with no teeth.
It affected everything from the way I ate, the way I talked, and of course how I interacted with people. And that's where Dr. Keon and Carabelli stepped in. They eased my fears. They explained every step of the process in a way that I could understand, and they made me feel almost like I was part of the team. And now, I can't stop smiling. I have so much more confidence, and I love looking in the mirror now. I can't explain how much of a difference Dr. Keon's dental implant process made for me.
Our team can help you find your smile too. Come see us at Carabelli Dental, 575-622-4455.
Here's a Mornings with Mike Winters fun fact. The first toilet being flushed in a motion picture was in the movie Psycho. Mike thought it was Gone with the Wind. Here's Mike Winters.
And good morning. It is 20 minutes after 8 o'clock, and joining us in studio this morning from Eastern New Mexico University, Roswell, Donna Oracion back with us. Good morning.
Good morning.
How are you today?
Doing okay, a little chilly.
Yeah, things have been busy, though, at the
but
college.
Yes,
so
we've been making up for lost time.
I know, with
think.
Thanksgiving here, I know there's a couple events coming up, and of course, you guys had some ribbon cuttings over the last month or so here.
Quite a few public events. We had a veteran center open. We had our food pantry open. We had an art gala last Thursday, showing off some of our artwork. So, yeah, we've been very busy. We're doing some registration events this week, just encouraging students to register for spring, and they get some pie. We
gotta have pie. Yeah,
gotta have pie. It's pie season.
It is. Tis the season.
Tis the season for pie.
Now, just curious, since we're at pie conversation, are you a traditionalist at Thanksgiving? Pumpkin, pecan, or do you like to go outside of those?
I like pumpkin and pecan. Apple's also a favorite too.
Okay.
But those are the three favorites. Yeah.
I gotta say, if anybody slips a blueberry pie in, I'm good. I don't care.
I like blueberry.
I don't care.
I don't like cherry.
I don't.
I'm not a cherry.
It was my favorite of my father's. My father loved cherry pie, so we always had to have one around. And I don't love them like he did, but I won't not eat it either.
Yeah,
so.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I make pecan pie, so I love pecan pies. But pumpkin has its place. Sometimes you just have to have pumpkin.
Maybe I'm surprised there's not a pumpkin pecan pie.
There probably is.
Chocolate pecan you get.
There's bourbon pecan, chocolate pecan.
I figured, why doesn't someone didn't combine the two?
Pecan pie cheesecake, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm not surprised it's not a more popular thing at Thanksgiving, a pumpkin pecan pie, but I'm sure there's some families that do it every year.
I'm sure.
Yeah.
I'm sure that's out there.
There's been a lot going on. Real quick with the Veterans Pantry, are people utilizing that now and taking advantage of the food pantry and everything?
Yes.
Yeah. Not the veteran. I combined the two there by accident. The food pantry, not the Veterans Support.
They're very close in the same. They're in the same building, pretty close around the corner from each other. But yes, our students are taking advantage of the food pantry. We're just still trying to get the word out to them and make sure they know about it. And
if you're listening, if you are a student at Eastern New Mexico University, Roswell, and you're ever in need there, swing on by.
Right.
And they're there to help you. I think that's the only requirement, right? You just got to be a student.
Right, just be a student.
Yeah.
They're open Mondays and Wednesdays 8 to 6 and Fridays 8 to noon.
Okay.
So you just walk in and talk to Woody. He's a great guy. He'll help you out and get you what you need. And
then, if your resources are bigger, maybe he can put you in touch with some other people that can help you even more.
Right.
So,
he has a lot of contacts in the community and is very familiar with all the food outreach support services. So
especially
if
you're a full-time student struggling, I get it.
Yeah, especially like when the weekend's coming. He'll get students going on Fridays and saying, I need some stuff to get me through.
I think we all
Saturday and Sunday.
I think we all been to those days where you're taking a couple extra ketchup packets, or ooh, there's saltines. Let me try a few extra.
We would go to the
case.
cafeteria and we would load up on cereal and peanut butter. We'd take our little containers and load up on cereal and peanut butter.
Oh yeah,
we were good with that.
It's life. We all been there at some point. So and also with the veterans, if you're a veteran and you want to get in touch with any services and if you have trouble like VA stuff and all that, they can help out.
Right, the GI Bill, any of that. We have a really nice facility. We invested some money, but it's a nice kind of quiet lounge area as well if they want to just get some coffee or have a drink, watch some TV or relax or get on a computer.
Decompress for a few minutes.
Yeah, if they need something to print out something for whatever reason for some of their research or schoolwork.
Yeah, class. Yeah, absolutely.
They can do that. So it's just a nice area that's just for them. So I think it's great that we can serve our
Think of it like a little,
students.
like at the airport, the little VIP lounge for you to hang out in.
Lounge. Right, without the alcohol.
That's right. But plenty of coffee.
Plenty of coffee, water. We have filtered water.
Most veterans, I'm the exception, not the rule, but most veterans are fuel on coffee. So
yes, I think a lot of us are, especially in the winter time. But we also do take donations for the food pantry. So if people are out there and are interested in donating to our student food pantry, can drop off something. You can call James Woody. He's at 624-7251. And then, of course, that leads me into our event that we're having on Saturday, which will benefit the student food pantry, and that's our turkey trot.
Yes.
So it's our third. I believe it's our third.
Well, this is Dr. Powell's kind of passion, isn't it?
Yeah,
the turkey trot.
He initiated the turkey trot, and we had to not do it during 2020, and so we've been.
I think
back
he did,
at it.
But he was the only one.
He probably did it on his
He
own.
ran the.
Yes.
Yeah, he did it. Well, I remember, especially during COVID. Like, if you followed Dr. Powell on social media, he was doing, like, he'd go to different places.
He loves to run in different communities.
He's a very outdoorsy, active, he's a military guy, too.
Yes.
But he loves, so the turkey trot, that's probably his place where he gets to de-stress and decompose. And
he was going to run the
not decompose, de-stress.
De-stress. He was going to run the course yesterday, but with the wind and the cold, he decided not to. But he might have run it this morning. Who knows? But
it is less windy.
It is not as miserable when the wind's not blowing.
Yeah.
So, so it's Saturday, and of course, it's combined. So we have a Memorial Fun Run Walk, and that's 1 mile, and we do that in memory of David Gonzalez with his family and that. So that starts at 8, and then the 5K run walk starts at 9.
Okay.
And it's just on-site registration. You don't have to register in advance or anything. There's no
come on
entry
down.
fee. Just go on
Ready
down.
to run.
We'll give you your bib. Start registering at 7, and that's in the PE Center on our campus. And then the route kind of takes you around the campus down Earl Cummings, and we have it all blocked off with cones, and we have the city permits and everything, and so it's all safe.
And it's a fun run, so I mean, you can be as competitive with it as
if you want to be, go full force and try and get first place, or you can do that, or you just can walk with your friends,
have fun
with your dog,
or make
family,
a goof
kids.
out of it. Get 2 turkey drumsticks. It is a turkey
You
trot.
could. You
and
could
then
wear a
just run it.
costume.
Yeah, costume.
Yep.
Might be
you can do all
cool.
that.
A thicker costume might be a little bit more
it's probably
appreciated.
we're looking at the weather. It's going to be a little chilly.
Yeah, it is.
Cold
it is
on
fall.
Saturday morning.
Yeah, it is fall in New Mexico.
So you'll have to definitely dress warmly, dress in layers. So if you get hot, you can take a layer off. So yes, you can bring a non-perishable food item, and that will go to our food bank, or you can bring a bag of cat food or dog food for the Friends of Roswell Animals. So if your passion is supporting our furry friends, then you can donate to that as well.
And no problem if you want to bring both. Bring some people food and some pet food.
That's right.
Yeah, non-perishable, obviously.
Right.
The box things, canned things.
Right.
Don't be bringing fresh turkeys and stuff.
No, we don't. We won't take it.
But there are people that could use those. So if you do have those, reach out to I know several the
probably Salvation
Army,
or
Roswell Refuge or Harvest Ministries. Yeah, there's or maybe the community kitchen, something like that might be more beneficial for that. But for this event Saturday, just bring your canned goods or
and that'll get you in, and we'll give you your bib, and we'll start the memorial walk at 8 and the 5K run walk at 9.
Well, it's great that they're honoring the family and with the Gonzalez family and continue. By those, speaking of that, how's of course the studio just opened up here. It's hadn't been a year yet, but
in May,
about 6 months ago as well.
Yeah, it's doing well. We had some of our crew from KENW TV down last Thursday for the art gala and doing some things.
So it's getting utilized.
They've got the green screen in there, and it's all set to go. And our media arts students
are utilizing it and
well.
everything. Well, see, I bet that's the part the Gonzalez family loves the most.
Yes.
Is the media arts students.
Carrying on his legacy.
His passion. Yeah. So to see that's his influence direct right there.
Right.
So that's cool.
So we're really pleased to have that. But yeah, we've just been really working on updating some of our facilities. Of course, the bond 3 did pass.
Thank you everyone for voting.
Thank you everyone for voting. We appreciate it. And that will invest over $6 million in our community with NMMI project as well. So we'll be installing some fire suppression or sprinkler systems in 3 buildings with that money and get that going.
Yeah.
In the next year or so. So really appreciative of the voters who supported us.
Absolutely. Well, and this bond, like we said, with Dr. Powell back when we were asking
Yes.
people to vote. The campus and many other facilities across the state have benefited greatly from these bonds being passed.
Right.
The automotive center that they're now enjoying, that is all the work of the bonds.
Right, and we're getting all of our lighting upgraded around campus, adding video
that
surveillance.
Was the one from
that
the previous bond, right?
2020, yes.
Yeah. The automotive one was a couple
was
bonds
18.
ago.
It all kind of runs in.
But all of this goes on to improve this campus for years to come.
And that's what the goal is, to continue to reinvest in our facilities, because things age just like everything ages.
And
we
all
have
know
to keep them modern and updated.
Yeah.
And if we don't, we're really hurting our students in the end. And that's training our workforce, our local workforce. And these are the people that you see in your doctor's office. They see when you call the plumber. A lot of people, HVAC, they've been trained on our campus. So everyone is impacted by it.
Well, and we sometimes we forget the campus resides on an old Air Force base that really hasn't been an Air Force base since the 60s.
Mm-hmm.
So, which means a lot of the buildings and facilities were probably built pre-World War II. Which means, and obviously the campus has been remodeled, renovated, rebuilt.
Right, and we do have some newer construction, but even newer construction is in the 80s.
Yeah.
And so that's really not new anymore.
Infrastructure that the campus is a part of and uses on a daily basis that's been around since they were bombardiers and everything training out there instead of a campus being out there.
Right.
So we have to remember that. And so, like, when we talk about some of these, like the lighting and some of these more recent upgrades that are being on, a lot of this is just replacing stuff that was put on this earth before some of us were even on it, or most of us were even on it.
And technology changes and equipment changes, becomes just more modern, more cost efficient, and just trying to keep up with that is difficult.
Absolutely.
with the funding that we receive from tuition and from the state allocations. We can't do it all. So that's why these bonds really do come in and help us with all of that.
Well, just like automotive, taking that one there, I mean, obviously, we all know that maintenance on a car in 2022 is night and day difference in maintenance on a car in 1982.
Right.
And when your facilities are to train and to educate the mechanics to work on cars in 2022, you need to have the computers, all the equipment and facilities that a 2022 mechanic would use. And that's the difference. So they have to stay up on all this stuff and stay, because otherwise, what's the point in training mechanics there if they got to retrain them on all the new stuff once they get their first job? You know, so that's part of that too. So.
And it's true that we try and upgrade or remodel current facilities as opposed to building new facilities, because that would, in a sense, be extravagant. Well, let's just tear everything down and start over. Well, a lot of things are, if the bones are good and things are initially there, we can invest that money in remodeling and restructuring and upgrading as opposed to building new facilities. So we're not trying to just, really go to the voters every time and say, we want new stuff all the time. We're trying to be good stewards of that money. And so that's why we look at what we can improve that's already there and not have to just tear down everything that's already there.
If you wanted to go that route, then you say, well, sure, we'll charge what Texas Tech or UNM or anybody else charges for fees, and then we'll bilk our students, and then we'll build our Jetsons building here.
Right.
And that's not a way either.
That's really not. So we tore down the old Quonset huts because they frankly were really past their life cycle. We have a new maintenance building, and that's nice. So that's one of the very few actual new construction that we've had, and we don't anticipate any brand new construction. In the near future, we're really upgrading what we have in our facilities master plan. Will be kind of revised also in the spring and looking at what's next. We need to update our signage and things like that around campus. So we're always trying to improve the environment that our students are working in.
While at the same time being good stewards of the money that's been allocated or the public has entrusted with the college. So
right. So we really appreciate that support, and when you come out to the campus, you can see the changes and improvements and know that we're doing it all for because we just can't let that campus run down. We need to keep it.
Well,
we need to keep it nice.
And let's face it, it's a unique role. It's different than back getting Texas Tech and UNM. These are community campuses.
Mm-hmm.
Not all the students that attend are college life students. Like you go to Tech, and I mean, let's face it, the kids are going to school there. That's their whole world is college.
Right.
Where community college, you have people that just take one class, maybe not taking any classes.
Right.
They're just
commuters.
coming to use some of the facilities at the campus there.
Yes.
And so you've got to meet all of those needs and do that. So it's a unique role that the college serves that's different than others, and so you have to think that way and act that way. So.
Right, and we know that we're on the south side of town. Now, people don't drive past us every single day, so they may not think about us every single day unless they have a reason to go out to the campus if they're not going to school or going to the airport or something. But even though they may not think about us every day, we're still there working and serving our community.
Absolutely, and which brings to my next thing with spring semesters. Now's the time.
Yeah, we start classes right after Martin Luther King, so it's January 17th. We're registering for spring. You can go online, of course. You can make an appointment with an advisor, which we recommend is the best route to go.
And this is the time to do it before finals and before the chaos of the Christmas holiday and the ending of the fall semester, because after Thanksgiving, all that kind of
it just fast forwards into the New Year. So
this week and leading up to it is a really good time to sit down with an advisor, kind of plot what you want to do, and let them kind of navigate or help you. Tell you what you want to do and let them kind of tell you the path to do that, and get settled in all now. And of course, if you are currently a student. If you're trying to get the good times and getting the schedule
to stay
that's
on your schedule.
Now's the time to put your schedule together. Not in January, not in just late December. This is when you do it right
and
now.
We do take a winter break. So starting the 23rd, I believe, we'll be out. So even though you'll be maybe wanting to do something, you can do it online.
Sure.
But if you want to speak with somebody or visit with somebody, the campus will be closed for winter break.
Yeah.
Until right after New Year's Day. So it is a great time to think about spring. And we've got variety of programs, classes, whatever you're looking at. Just go online
and
look
in
at the
person.
class schedule.
And of course, when you're done there, mosey on over to the financial aid office and get, because I don't care if you're a millionaire or don't have or you're hitting the pantry afterwards. Doesn't matter. Go talk to the financial aid office. They can usually find ways if you're willing to just get that FAFSA form filled out and willing to fill out some applications. They could probably get you enough to maybe pay for the whole thing or at least a portion of it.
And we say this all the time, but we have so many scholarships, and we sent out a message again last week. We have campus scholarships, foundation scholarships, civic club scholarships. If you go on the scholarship page on the website, there's online applications. You don't even have to go see somebody. You just fill out the online application for all the foundation scholarships. And those are all deadlines are due February.
Okay.
So you have time to do that. But just browse through those, and a lot of them will be applicable to your situation or what you're some are specific to a health program, or some are specific. Some are just very general, very open.
Yeah. Some are just because you're into STEM or something, and they're all
There's
different.
the Opportunity Scholarship that the financial aid office will award you. There's Pell Grants. There's
a lot of
study programs.
Free money out there if you're willing to
make
do
a little
the
bit of
research
effort.
and take some effort, and
just a little bit.
And trust me, the financial aid folks, they're loving for you to come in and talk to them, because I'm sure they get frustrated. They're like,
we
look,
do. We don't want that money to be just sitting there unused.
Thousands, if not more than that, dollars that sit there unused each year. I mean, nationally, it's probably in the millions, but even here in Southeast New Mexico, it's probably in the thousands of dollars that go unclaimed.
And it's not money that you need to pay back. It's money that you're entitled to based on your financial situation, your unmet need, as we call it.
Some may have an academic or a requirement to maintain while you're in, but like you said, it's free money.
Right. We're not encouraging students to go into debt or anything like that. there's a lot of money available before you get to
the strings are before.
any kind of loan.
The strings are before
that.
they give you the money, and it's usually, if you pursue a degree in engineering, or if you're from a certain area, or if your parents are a veteran or something like that, or you're a veteran, those are the types of prerequisite or strings that come with it. But once you do that, then it's free money, and you're under no obligation to pay it back, or anything like that. And now a loan's a little different. You maybe take an accounting class if you need to learn some of that stuff. But with grants and scholarships and these things, these are all free money that are other people that are wanting to invest in your future, which in terms investing in the country's future.
Right.
Yeah.
So yes, we encourage people to register for spring, talk to financial aid, get that all sorted out before.
Yeah.
And then you can enjoy your holiday break.
Yeah, but this is the sweet spot to do all that. And then, of course, come out for the turkey trot here on Saturday.
Yep, we've got the turkey trot
a lot of fun.
Saturday. Of course, we have our graduation for fall. It will be December 8th.
Okay.
So we're doing 2 ceremonies again in our Performing Arts Center. That way we can spread it out and give our graduates.
I know this is the smaller of the 2 graduations, but you still have quite a few students that graduate in the fall, don't you?
It's over 150.
That's a lot.
Yeah, it's quite a few.
Yeah.
And we could probably pack everybody into one ceremony, but we like to give our graduates opportunity to have as many of their friends and family come, so they get tickets.
It's a special moment.
So we kind of break it up, and so we have a 5:30 and a 7:30, and so that way we give graduates the opportunity to have as many of their friends and family attend with them.
It's a great way to do it. So of course, the part I always love is we get to meet, the guest speakers, the valedictorian, those folks that and usually those guest speakers, every time, they're always folks that generally against odds. They're ones that they went the path that the road less traveled sometimes to get to their degree, and that's what I love about that.
Our speaker this December is Haley. Her name is Haley Gonzalez. She's a criminal justice major, and she went through dual credit classes. She's a presidential scholar, but she's the first in her family to graduate from college.
That's great.
And she was always encouraged by her mom to get good grades no matter what.
So she's a product of hard work.
She is. She's a Roswell High graduate, and she is a product of hard work. So,
that's amazing.
And she's great. She's such a optimistic, positive person, and she'll do a great job. So we're really looking forward to that as well.
Absolutely. Yeah, I love that's my favorite part of all that stuff is to hear those inspirational
they're
stories.
real, students that have succeeded and are moving on, and we don't really encourage, professional speakers that, or politicians,
Well, they're
we really want
inspirations.
students that other students can relate to.
Sure. Yeah, they're inspirations. They're people that you're thinking, if that person could do it, and, we're hearing their struggles, what they went through. Certainly, I can do that, or I can either relate, or man, I don't have it nearly as hard as that person. I should be able to do this. You know what I mean? But either way, it's an inspiration, and that's what I like about it.
So we're looking forward to that, and again, we've just got a great campus, and we really encourage people to come out anytime, go for a tour, just come see us, talk to an advisor. We're always open.
Yeah, and of course, if you're, we're talking degree plans and all this, but don't forget, if you're just looking, maybe you're retired and you want to take a few classes, you want to, personal growth. We always talk about shooting for a degree or shooting for a better job. If you're just like, I've always wanted to learn ceramics. I just always wanted to, I love history, and I'd love to maybe just sit in on a class and listen about U.S. history or European history or something like that.
Well, it's never too late to learn something new, as they say, and we're all lifelong learners. So
absolutely,
that's what we're there for.
Yeah, so come on down to the campus, and this is the time. Come for a visit. Come down. Come have lunch. Come, hang out.
Our cafeteria's open. It's great. They have great food.
They have delicious food there. So, yeah, the best burritos in town are on the south end down there between the campus and they love those. In the airport, it's same people, but those are really good burritos.
Yes,
so. Excellent. Donna, is there anything we missed? Anything we wanted to?
No, just again, we appreciate everybody's support of our campus, and
come out this Saturday.
Come out Saturday. We hope to have a good turnout for the turkey trot.
Come on out. It's going to be cool, but that's okay. It'll get you geared up and get the get the juices flowing. So
Right.
if you're going to go watch football later in the day,
Right.
because we got high school football and NMI's playing later in the day. So there's a lot. The Wool Bowl's a busy Saturday there.
Yes.
So definitely that way you can do your running, exercise, and then eat hot dogs and all
there you go. That's a good plan.
turkey dogs. It's turkey trap. So. Awesome. Well, Donna, as always, appreciate
Thank
the
you,
visit.
Mike.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Happy
I'll
Thanksgiving
see you
to
between
you.
now and then, and we'll see you next month. Okay.
Yep.
Right in the craziness. That'll be the next time we talk to her. That'll be in the Christmas. Everyone's shutting down, but everyone's trying to get ready for the spring semester.
Procrastinators.
So be like now and be chill and go in there and walk and stroll.
Don't
and
be a procrastinator.
have your cup of coffee and visit and sit and don't be scrambling with your hair in 6 directions and all unorganized.
Right.
Avoid that.
Try and avoid that.
Yes. Well, thank you, Donna. We'll see you next time.
Okay.
It is 8:45. Let's go ahead and pause for local news. Quick commercial break. Wall Street business update as well. We'll be back. Don't go away.
Now your Pecos Valley news update. I'm Jared Cirillo. Thick black smoke drifted above Eddy County from a massive oil field fire that broke out Monday near Malaga and Loving. Eddy County Fire and Rescue posted pictures of the fire on their Facebook page, saying the flames broke out in a tank battery. Fire crews remained on the scene for more than 13 hours fighting the blaze. The chief of New Mexico State Police is admitting that mistakes were made leading up to the death of Officer Darian Jarrett during a traffic stop in Deming last year. Chief Tim Johnson said in a newly released court deposition that took place back in August that Jarrett would likely still be alive today if there had been better communication and decision-making in sending him out alone to find a man named Omar Cueva. Cueva was known to be a meth user who carried guns. Cueva fatally shot Jarrett and then led police on a chase from Deming to Las Cruces, which ended in a gun battle. Cueva died in the shooting with police. You're up to date. I'm Jared Cirillo.
Here's a Mornings with Mike Winters fun fact. Elephants use these skin folds on their bodies to crush mosquitoes. Mike Winters uses his to hide M&Ms. Here's Mike Winters.
I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton with your Pecos Valley weather. We have high pressure moving in from the central plains with cool air, so we'll stay in the upper 40s for the afternoon high today, but it should be pretty nice. A few clouds and some sunshine. Partly cloudy and cold for the overnight hours, dropping into the upper 20s, and then Wednesday looks about the same. Sunshine, maybe a few clouds, and our afternoon high in the upper 40s again. We'll bounce back to the mid-50s and sunny Thursday. That's your latest forecast. I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton.
With the Wall Street Business Report, I'm Bill Alexander. Stocks fell on Wall Street Monday, giving back some of their huge gains made last week on hopes the worst of the nation's inflation is ending. Amazon is planning to lay off more than 10,000 employees in corporate and technology jobs starting as soon as this week, the New York Times reported on Monday, citing people with knowledge of the matter. Nearly 48,000 unionized academic workers at all 10 University of California campuses walked off the job Monday, calling for better pay and benefits. The strike by researchers, tutors, and teaching assistants threatens to disrupt classroom and laboratory instruction across the statewide university system. Tyson Foods' board of directors is overseeing a review of the recent arrests of the chief financial officer, John R. Tyson, on charges that he trespassed at a young woman's house while intoxicated in Arkansas. For the Wall Street Business Report, I'm Bill Alexander in Washington.
Jennifer here from Trustmark Roofing, and I know you've heard me say that you can trust Trustmark, but I want you to know what that looks like in real life. A few years ago, we installed a beautiful new roof for an older woman who was recently widowed. She was an artist and colors were really important to her. So when she said she didn't like the color of a brand new roof, we took that seriously. She had picked the color and signed off on it, but I just kept thinking, if she's going to walk into her house every day and be disappointed, then we're just going to redo it. So we did. We ripped that beautiful new roof off and replaced it with a slightly different color, and she was thrilled. Yes, it cost us quite a bit of money to make her happy, but I want you to know you can trust Trustmark to make it exactly right every time. If you have any roofing needs, call us at 575-755-ROOF or find us online at trustmarkroofpros.com.
Trustmark Roofing, we put people first.
Hi, my name is Claude Childs, Service Director here at Roswell Ford. We understand that when your vehicle needs service, you have a lot of options, and sometimes it's hard to know who to trust. That's where I come in. My mission and the mission for the service department here at Roswell Ford is the best customer service experience and ensuring your absolute satisfaction. We have a brand new service team of master certified technicians to ensure that things are done right. Our goal is to make sure that every customer drives away with a smile on their face. And if you have diesel engines or a fleet of vehicles, our team is one of the premier service departments in the region for diesel and fleet repairs. To show you the Roswell Ford Service Department difference, we invite you in for a free diagnostic report on any Ford vehicle, regardless of year or model. We are ready to set a precedent and to show you what quality service looks like. So come see us at the Tailgate Nation, Roswell Ford.
Fall is here, but it's not too late to get to Graves Farm and Garden and stock up on green chili in mild, medium, or hot, as well as dried red chili, perfect for Thanksgiving and seasonal recipes. Plus, firewood by the cord, delivered and stacked. Now's the time to stock up on hay bales with Sudan and alfalfa in both small and large bales. And the Graves Farm store is open Monday through Saturday, 8:30 to 5:30, and Sundays 1 to 5. 7.5 miles south of Roswell on the Old Dexter Highway. Graves Farm and Garden, where locally owned means locally grown. It's that time of year again. The 41st Annual Holiday Magic Art and Craft Show. Friday and Saturday, November 18th and 19th at the Eastern New Mexico State Fairgrounds. Featuring a variety of handmade creations by artists, artisans, and crafters from New Mexico and Texas. Mixing returning favorites with many new exhibitors. This year's featured artists are Becky and Galen Bach from Midland, Texas, displaying their truly amazing creations in women's apparel. Plus, delectable treats, including the ever-popular pumpkin rolls and cookies by Deborah Lucas. Delightful mini donuts by Karen Hendricks, and delicious meals by Eli's Bistro. Enter to win great prizes, including an American flag, a cornhole game, a framed signed Gordon Snideout print, a beautiful cowl neck sweater, and even a $100 gift certificate to Pepper's Grill and Bar. Proceeds to benefit the Assurance Home, the First Tee of Southeastern New Mexico, Royal Family Kids Camp, 4-H program, and Roswell's local high schools. Admission is only $2. Kids 12 and under are free. The 41st Annual Holiday Magic Art and Craft Show. Friday and Saturday, November 18th and 19th at the Eastern New Mexico State Fairgrounds.
Pressure Services LLC in Artesia has immediate openings for experienced vacuum truck, kill truck, and hydrovac operators. Operators must hold a Class A CDL or Class D CDL, at least 2 years of experience, and be at least 25 years of age. All positions require a clean driving record and must be able to pass a DOT drug and alcohol screen. Pressure Services offers great pay with IRA benefits and employer contributions toward health benefits. Please apply in person at 402 West Main in Artesia, inside the AIDS Safety Facility. Equal Opportunity Employer.
Hi, I'm Dr. Keon at Carabelli Dental. Same-day smiles are what we do. My passion is helping patients chew, talk, and live with confidence. That's why I'm one of the few doctors in the U.S. who can create beautiful same-day smiles with the latest digital implant technology. This procedure is life-changing. Just ask Sean.
Hi, I'm Sean. I've been that voice that you've heard on the radio for most of my life, but I'm also a dad to 2 amazing kids. I've had a million reasons to smile, but in all my old pictures, I was never smiling. Truth is that life of improper care and being dealt a bad hand genetically left me practically with no teeth. It affected everything from the way I ate, the way I talked, and of course how I interacted with people. And that's where Dr. Keon and Carabelli stepped in. They eased my fears. They explained every step of the process in a way that I could understand, and they made me feel almost like I was part of the team. And now, I can't stop smiling. I have so much more confidence, and I love looking in the mirror now. I can't explain how much of a difference Dr. Keon's dental implant process made for me.
Our team can help you find your smile too. Come see us at Carabelli Dental, 575-622-4455.
The state championship semifinals are set. And coming up this Saturday, your Roswell Coyotes look to keep it alive, taking on the Panthers of Piedra Vista High. 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM will have coverage of this state championship semifinal matchup. Join Art Sandoval and Kelly McDonald for the pregame at 12:30 and kickoff at 1. Coyotes versus the Panthers of Piedra Vista High. Saturday beginning at 12:30 on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM with audio-only coverage at KSVPTV.com. Southeastern New Mexico's sports authority, then, now, and always.
Here's a Mornings with Mike Winters fun fact. U-Haul is the world's largest advertiser in the Yellow Pages. Too bad millennials don't know what the Yellow Pages are. Here's Mike Winters.
And good morning. It is 8:54. Stay tuned next hour. About 9:15 or so, we're going to replay our interview we had yesterday with Matt Bristol from Bristol Law Office. Matt joins us once a month, usually the second Monday of the month in the 7 o'clock hour, and gives us sage legal advice, and he does not disappoint every time. But yeah, we had a great conversation with him yesterday, so I thought I'd play that for you here today for our later audience, ones that like to sleep in. I feel your pain. I'd do the same thing if I could. I'll never, even to today, and it's been 20 plus years, but when I was in the Air Force, I worked midnights I was in 4 years, and I would say 2.5 to 3 of those years I was probably working midnights when I wasn't deployed or in basic or in tech school or any of that. So I'd say close to 3 of those years I was working the midnight shift, and it still impacts me. Like I don't, getting up early. I mean, I do it every day I can. I am, and no problem. But it's different. Even this, like when I got out of the military, I couldn't even go to bed before like 4 or 5 in the morning. My wife would go to bed at her time, and I just couldn't sleep. I was up till 3, 4 in the morning just because my brain was so wired to be up at that time and sleep during the day. So it took a good 6 months before I could sleep like a regular night, getting used to that. And but even to this day, I still don't, getting up in the morning, I'm much more of a night owl now than I used to be or wanting to be. That's not true either, because when I was a kid, stay up all late and do whatever. But now at like 9:30, I'm kind of like, ugh. But when I don't have a working, Thursday, Friday nights, midnight, 1, easy, I'm up, just because that's how my brain, part that, and my wife and I have different TV viewing. Like, there's certain shows that I want to watch and see that I know she has no interest or desire, so I don't make her sit through them. And generally Friday, Saturday nights, those are my nights to watch those. Or lunch, when I go home for lunch and watch shows. Those are my, I'll get like an hour there at lunch, and then, in the evenings on Fridays and Saturdays, and I'll usually watch, my shows like Breaking Bad or things that I know my wife doesn't care about that I'll watch, like right now I'm just starting to watch Fargo, the TV series. It's on the Hulu on FX, and I remember when they're like in the 4th or 5th season now, and I think each season's completely different. I don't know. I'm just now about 5 or 6 episodes into the first season of Fargo, which the Fargo TV show is not the Fargo movie. Like this first season of Fargo, the TV show that I'm watching.
Yeah, sure.
There's the same setting, same place. The characters are similar, but they're different. They're not the same characters. Like the William H. Macy character, Lindegard or whatever his name was in the movie. There's a guy just like him, not same name, and he's not a car insurance or car salesman. He's an insurance salesman, and the story it's still twisted and it's a murder thing.
Now you're just starting, right?
Yeah, I'm about 6 episodes in, 7 episodes in the first season.
I haven't watched much of the series.
Yeah.
But I've watched a lot of things talking about it. And a lot of people that they were basically talking about, like, the idea that the Coen brothers had with the series is they want to explore other stories in that universe.
Yeah.
And eventually it starts working. You start seeing ancillary characters from the movie and that kind of like work their way in.
Yeah, but I think even in later seasons they get away from that.
They really do.
Because I know the most recent seasons is like Chris Rock, and it looks like the main. It looks like focus. It's like 30s era or 20s. Yeah. So that's a different altogether compared to what this is more set in the 90s. I think. When did they have flip phones? Early 2000s.
It was It
was around that time because they all got flip phones.
late 90s, early 2000s. Yeah. There was a while where it was just those like little brick phones.
Yeah, they were.
Which is it's so funny too because I was watching. I know we got to go here soon, but I just watched Yes Man for the first time.
Yeah,
like literally just watched it the other day, and they all have those little Nokia flip phones, and it's like, wow, was not that long ago. And they're all they're doing their jogs, taking pictures with their flip phones. And
I kind of like that movie.
Yeah.
Yes, ma'am.
It's a good movie.
It's one of my lesser known, but more liked.
Zoe Deschanel is always adorable.
Yeah.
Everything she's ever done, she's just, I want to cuddle her. I just want to snuggle her. I know that's creepy. I just want to snuggle you, Zoe.
I just want to smell your hair.
I just want to sniff your hair. She's just adorable. It's not like anything like that. It's just, she looks like she's adorable,
You just want to meet her.
Yeah, I'd love to meet her. She looks like she's delightful.
Yeah. Okay. I'd meet her too. Why not? Yeah. All right. It's closing on 9 o'clock. Town Hall News up next. We'll be back.
On air and online, this is Roswell's home for talk radio. KEND Roswell.
News this hour from townhall.com. I'm Rich Thomason. The Republicans now just one seat away from taking charge of the House. GOP victories in 3 races in California and New York, boosting the Republicans to 217 seats. That's a single seat away from the 218 required to take the majority. 14 races yet to be called. Well, apparently the Arizona governorship will be switching from red to blue.
Early Monday evening, Maricopa County, Arizona Board of Supervisors Chair Bill Gates told reporters the last big collection of ballots would be counted that night.
We have less than 100,000 left. This will be a big drop of votes.
The AP reports that Democrat Katie Hobbs' narrow lead over Republican Carrie Lake held as that last big batch of ballots showed. Lake did not have the numbers to catch up. Hobbs is the first Democrat elected governor in Arizona since Janet Napolitano 16 years ago. I'm Tim McGuire.
A couple of years after losing re-election, former President Trump is poised to launch another run for the White House.
Trump is scheduled to make a major announcement at 9 p.m. Eastern Time tonight from his Florida resort. Longtime advisor Jason Miller has confirmed that the former president will use the announcement to launch a 2024 bid. In recent days, Mr. Trump has stepped up his public criticism of 2 popular Republican governors, Florida's Ron DeSantis and Virginia's Glenn Youngkin, who also are possible GOP presidential contenders.
White House correspondent Greg Clugston, he'll be at Mar-a-Lago for tonight's announcement by Mr. Trump. Prices at the wholesale level rose 8% in October from a year ago. It was a smaller increase than in September and may show that inflation is finally starting to cool off just a bit. At least that's what Wall Street is hoping for. Right now, the Dow's up 245 points, the NASDAQ ahead 225. More on these stories at townhall.com.
Hi, I'm Al Abaroa, founder of Knight Strategic Wealth. Inflation is a problem, markets are volatile, and the risk of running out of money in retirement is real. That's why I love annuities, and you should too. Your financial advisor doesn't want you to know that with our annuity strategy, when the stock market goes up, you earn a market-linked return that locks in every year, and when the stock market goes down, your annuity won't lose a dime. There are no unnecessary fees, and it works for your investments, money at a brokerage firm, or even money at a bank. It's simple, it's safe, and you should only invest if you learn the facts. And that's why savvy investors work with us. Want to learn more? Text FREE to 833-898-0500, and we'll send our retirement readiness kit directly to your phone right now. If you want to use safe, low-fee annuities to build a retirement portfolio that will go up with the market and never lose money, get our retirement readiness kit today and see how this strategy can help secure your future. Text FREE to 833-898-0500. Text FREE to 833-898-0500.
Re-engaging with the rest of the world, China's president launching a charm offensive of sorts with the West.
Xi Jinping is on his second international trip in 2 years, and he's making a concerted effort to win over key U.S. allies. After striking an amiable tone with President Biden on Monday, Mr. Xi on Tuesday met with the leaders of France, South Korea and Australia. All 3 meetings were said to be positive. With the French President, Emmanuel Macron, Xi Jinping said China would engage with a global framework to address poor countries' debts.
And that's BBC correspondent Celia Hatton. A Palestinian killed 2 Israelis, wounded 4 others in an attack in a settlement in the West Bank before he was shot and killed by Israeli security personnel. That's according to Israeli paramedics and Palestinian officials. The paramedics confirm the 2 were killed in the settlement of Ariel. News and analysis, townhall.com. Well, some airlines will be forking over a lot of money.
Frontier Airlines and 4 foreign carriers are paying more than $600 million in refunds to consumers whose flights were canceled or significantly delayed since the start of the pandemic. Department of Transportation says it has also fined those same airlines more than $7 million for delaying refunds so long they violated consumer protection rules. No other U.S. carrier is being fined. Jason Walker reporting.
Millions of people are hoping the British Prime Minister Sunak will find money to help them survive a cost of living crisis when the government releases its spending plans later in the week. With inflation running at a 40-year high, the demands from the public are many. Once again on Wall Street this hour, the Dow up 241 points. More on these stories, townhall.com.
What in the wide, wide world of sports is going on here?
I promise you, whatever scum did this, not one man in this force will rest for 1 minute until he's behind bars. Now let's grab a bite to eat. Yeah, come on.
I feel the hot wind on my shoulder and the touch of a world that is older. I hit the switch and check the number. I leave it on and then I slumber. I hear the rhythm ringing through it. Flamenco guitar and cumbia music. I hear the talking of the DJ. The Travelician, what does he say? I'm on a Mexican radio. I'm on a Mexican radio.
Broadcasting live from high atop the J.P. White Building in downtown Roswell, New Mexico. It's Mornings with Mike Winters on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM.
Is that what I sound like when I talk?
Now, here's your host, Mike Winters.
And good morning. It is 6 minutes after 9 o'clock. Welcome to hour number 3.
Trace and Bjorn. Ooh, we got double speakers. Like right when I did that. Trace and Bjorn. Oh, come on!
You jinxed it.
Yeah, then it came in for a second, teased me with it, and then it went away. Trace and Bjorn.
It's a fickle thing. So, happy Tuesday.
It's nice for a second. It's like when, you know what it is when, it's like when you pop your ears, like when you're on a long drive.
Yeah.
And you finally get your ears to pop.
Yeah.
Like that's what it felt like for a quick second. It's like, oh, I can hear out of that ear again.
And then it went away. Well, happy Tuesday. Hope all of you are having a delightful day thus far.
Yes.
It's chilly. In case you hadn't heard, we made it official last hour, but Roswell Coyote football playoffs this Saturday at the Wool Bowl. We will be carrying the game on the radio.
Yes.
And live streaming video, ksvptv.com. Kickoff is at 1300.
Yep.
On Saturday.
1 o'clock.
That's 1 p.m.
That one's the easy one.
You got that one.
But you ever see somebody going 13, 14, 15, 16, 17? Yeah, that's me. Which was embarrassing because for about a good solid 8 months I was dating a veteran. And of course,
does she speak in military time?
Of course.
You want to go on a date at 1830?
Yeah, of course. It was like, yeah, that sounds good.
Yeah. You're like, that's 6, 4 o'clock.
And usually it was about 1830.
So yeah. Well, it's math. It's just once you go to 1 o'clock, then you go to 13 o'clock, 14 o'clock. If you think of it that way, then it's military time.
Yeah.
Just leave the old clock part out.
100.
You know where I got messed up is when they started throwing Zulu time on me, because I'm like, oh man, how many different hours and difference between what time it is Mountain Time versus Zulu time and all that. You got to do that, Matt. And that used to mean it's like, oh yeah, we're gonna mission starts at 1100 Zulu, and you're like, what? What time is that? Hold on.
Let me whip out my graphing calculator here and figure this one out.
Of course, the pilots and all that, they think in those terms.
Right.
So to them, that's speaking normal, but for the rest of us, it's not. So.
It always makes me laugh whenever I hear military personnel or people say the time. It always sounds like an estimation, like 600.
Yeah.
Like 7:30.
Right. Yeah.
No. Yeah. We were just putting the O before it, like it's round. Like I haven't decided.
When I was in Kuwait, and we stayed in this tent city while we were there at Al Jaber, but in our tent they actually had a TV, and you picked up like 6 or 7 channels, and I think there was a VHS player if you could procure a movie to watch. I remember because like there was AFN, Armed Forces Network, and then there was a couple English channels that were I'm guessing they're from somewhere in Europe. I don't remember.
Right.
They were like there was like a one that just showed movies.
Okay.
And I remembered if they had a blue triangle in the corner, them's were like the Skinamax movies.
Oh, snap. All right.
But what was mess you up was when they, in between the movies or in between the shows, they would, like everything else, there's advertising and commercials, and of course they're promoting movies and things and different. And so you're like, and tomorrow night we're going to show Hoodlum or whatever movie they're going to show. And you're like, tune in 10 p.m. GMT. And you're like, what's GMT?
Greenwich Mean Time.
Which is Zulu, which you're like, oh no. I don't know what time the movie comes on. Hey, when's 11 GMT?
Sarge? Hey, Sarge? We got a real hot button issue over here.
Yeah. We don't know when the Blue Triangle movie comes on. When's 11 GMT? So, yeah, that was times. I remember there was one movie, there was one channel that showed, it was 2 different movies. I think one was Hoodlum.
Okay.
I think that's the name of the movie. The one with Lawrence Fishburne and Roth was the bad guy. Is it not Eli? What's his name? Is it Eli?
Eli Roth?
It's not Eli Roth. It's another. It's an actor. He's. I think he was. He's been in a bunch of movies.
With this hood wrap, pull my phone out and I'll see what I can find.
He usually plays the gangster.
What I remember was we weren't allowed to watch the TV in our room in Romania because they had something called the watershed. And it's a certain time where after the watershed, they're allowed to curse and show pretty much whatever they want.
So they didn't let you on your mission trip to go watch that?
Yeah, we couldn't watch TV. Okay, that movie had Tim Roth.
Tim Roth, that's what I'm thinking
it's
of.
Lawrence Fishburne, Cicely Tyson, Tim Roth, Andy Garcia, Vanessa Williams, Loretta Devine, and Queen Latifah. When did this movie
it was a
come
good movie, but I've seen it 1,000 times.
1997.
It was that movie, and what was the other movie that they kept rotating it with? Oh, I can't remember.
It's on Hulu right now.
Well, maybe I'll bust it out. We only watched it 37 times in a 2-month span there, or 4-month span, or however long I was there. But anyway, yeah. So,
but even in the commercials, that's what I was trying to get to. Even in the commercials, like they would show, it'd be like a commercial for a soap, and they would show a woman taking a shower and show all the naughty bits.
Oh wow,
yeah. Like soapy, or whatever. But
that's way different than AFN.
Yeah, it was. I'd imagine. It was pretty intense.
Well, AFN's funny to watch because AFN Armed Forces Network. That's the channel that like when you're overseas and they show you NFL football games. That's where they put them on. That one, or you'll see playoffs and things that are relevant in the States. But it's run by the military. And so it has commercial breaks, but generally they're not commercials.
Right. They're just like stuff happening.
Military stuff like PSAs, but they're all military. Or sometimes they're gee whiz stuff, which were entertaining. But a lot of times it'd be commercials like when a person gets assigned to your base, you're for the first time, you get what's called a sponsor, someone that is supposed to meet you at the airport, guide you, kind of get you settled and help you navigate getting in processed and all that stuff. And usually it's a peer, someone around your rank, someone similar to you, and then they kind of guide you around and help you get you settled in.
Right.
They're called sponsors. And so these ads were always telling you to be a good sponsor. Don't be a bad sponsor. Welcome them in, show them, and give you tips
like a
on how to...
Goofus and Gallant thing.
Yeah, so it was trying to...
Good sponsors do this. Bad sponsors do this.
So they're trying to get you to be a good sponsor. But then they do things like the state quiz, which always like, which state was founded in 1602? And you're just like, oh.
You know what it reminds me of, sort of, is if you've ever been... Well, different places have different like networks, but like specifically like if you've been into a Jiffy Lube, you sit there and you watch that Insight TV. That sometimes it'll be a clip from the Maury Show, and sometimes it'll be a clip about like how to spot nasty fuel gaskets, and like what to do with winterization, tips and all this. That's kind of what it reminds me of. Just like a mishmash of just like, here's a clip from King of Queens. Here's a tip about dirty air filters.
You know where that's beginning popular? That type of programming / advertising. Gas pumps.
I saw that. It's so weird. We don't have it here.
Alamogordo's got one.
Yeah, I'm sitting there pumping my gas, and it's just, why am I watching a commercial right now with sound? Like, fine for the pictures, but a commercial with sound in the fuel pump.
Yeah, when I was in Albuquerque, when I kept my trips to El Paso frequently here, there was a gas station coming into Alamogordo from El Paso that I'd hit a couple times because it was just convenient to be there. And yeah, they had the TV TV thing, and I'm like, I'm done pumping gas, but I kind of want to finish this music video.
It's sort of a surreal time to like be in this industry.
Yeah.
Because it's like, and I thought the same thing when I was walking through the store the other day. It's like, I kind of wouldn't mind working for the Walmart radio network.
Yeah.
I mean, think about it. They have that one station that plays the terrible, terrible kids' boppiest pop music you can hear. But you'd be nationwide in every Walmart across the country.
You know what I learned? Sonic has. Well, I'm not sure if it's still.
That's better than syndication.
But I know a couple years ago they had it. I'm not sure if it's still around. But
the Sonic, yeah.
Sonic Radio?
Yeah.
They take requests.
Yeah, so does Walmart. Has a whole show, like their afternoon.
I remember calling Sonic. I was in Sonic eating a sandwich, and I heard the thing, and I'm like, they take, and I think it gave a number or something. So I called it and requested like a Beatles song.
Right.
And sure enough, while I was eating my tots, my Beatles song came over the.
That's awesome. That is fantastic. But that's better than syndication. You're force heard in every Walmart across the country.
I was in one of the indoor Sonics.
That's
by the way.
significant.
It is,
especially if they like play, like if you're doing a request and they like play your call.
Yeah.
That's. I mean, that's the move.
Like, what's your air shift like?
Well, I got to imagine.
Walmart
I got to imagine
studio.
it's a track shift. I mean, it's got to be.
Like, is there live people that sit there all the time?
But like in the afternoon, like when I've been walking through like 2, 3 in the afternoon, I'll be like just kind of have like an ear on the radio they're playing.
Yeah.
And they'll have like it's like Zoo Crew, like where they'll have like 2 or 3 people sitting in a room laughing together at like something or talking about a subject.
See, this is what I do. This is how I would.
Or taking a call or something.
See, if you're going to do a morning zoo show on your Walmart channel, you got to do the morning zoo games, but put it all Walmart related. So, like honk for cash and all that, but do those kind of things in Walmarts all across the country. Yeah, I need someone
It's time for Whip 'em Out Wednesdays. It's brought to you by Cool Whip.
Come up the Tupperware aisle and go.
I like it.
That's what I'd be doing. Hey, you want a free corn dog? Make your way to the Walmart cafeteria for your free corn dog.
We see your Walmart Radio Network sticker on your backside. We're going to make sure to get you hooked up with the free popcorn up in the front. You just go talk to the manager and we'll get you set up.
You know what? This don't work out. Let's see if we can get a gig.
Yeah, I'm down.
All right, let me get the rest of it.
Sorry, Gene. It was just so you know, we got prospects, man.
But we got skits and bits in Walmart.
That's right. Coming soon to the WRN Walmart Radio.
I wish the guy on the radio quits telling them to flush the toilets in the men's room.
When did they have the guy with the soundboard?
All right, it is 18 minutes after 9. We're going to play our interview with Matt Bristol from Bristol Law Office. He joined us yesterday. We'll put it here in just a few minutes. For the love of God, will you tell the DJs to stop messing with the wet floor signs? All right, it is 18 minutes after 9. Let's get you up to date on the weather.
I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton with your Pecos Valley weather. We have high pressure moving in from the central plains with cool air, so we'll stay in the upper 40s for the afternoon high today, but it should be pretty nice. A few clouds and some sunshine. Partly cloudy and cold for the overnight hours, dropping into the upper 20s, and then Wednesday looks about the same. Sunshine, maybe a few clouds, and our afternoon high in the upper 40s again. We'll bounce back to the mid-50s and sunny Thursday. That's your latest forecast. I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton.
Thank you, Steve. Currently 35 degrees here in Roswell. Humidity is at 64%. Winds currently out of the north at 5 miles per hour. 48 and partly cloudy for today. Good news is the winds are less than yesterday. Winds out of the northeast, 5 to 10 miles per hour. Tonight, mostly cloudy. Overnight low of 28 degrees. Southeast winds at around 5 miles per hour. Wednesday, 44 under partly cloudy skies. East winds at around 5 miles per hour. Tomorrow night, mostly clear with an overnight low of 26. West winds at around 5 miles per hour. Thursday is our warm day of the week, 55 and sunny. So does that tell you much? 55, our warm day tomorrow, or Thursday. South winds 5 to 10. Friday, mostly cloudy, highs back down to 40. And then looking at the weekend, on Saturday, mostly sunny, high of 44. Sunday, back into the low 50s. Sunny skies, 53 for a high on Sunday. And then 56 on Monday, so maybe next week for your Thanksgiving week will look a little bit warmer. Knock on wood. All right, it is 20 minutes after 9. Let's take about a 2.5-minute commercial break, and then our interview with Matt Bristol from Bristol Law Office on the other side. Don't go away.
The average American takes 8,000 to 10,000 steps each day, and for those suffering from foot problems, each one can be agonizing. The podiatry team at Artesia General Hospital can help diagnose and treat foot and ankle conditions, including diabetic foot issues, arthritis, bunions, or other problems. Doctors Joseph Marino and Joseph Krupa are podiatrists specializing in wound care, fracture care, foot and ankle surgery, and more. Put your feet in good hands. Request an appointment at artesiageneral.com/podiatry APPT.
This is an important message for everyone on Medicare. The Medicare annual election period ends December 7th, so right now is the only time to make changes to your Medicare coverage. Medicare can be very confusing, so now is the time to visit Medcare Senior Insurance Solutions, an insurance agency that offers Medicare health insurance plans. Contact Jeannie Muse at Medcare Senior Insurance Solutions, 110 West Country Club, across from Bush Appliance. Remember, the annual election period ends December 7th.
It takes a long time to develop trust. At LaGrone Funeral Chapel, they've been earning your trust for decades. They understand how important it is to friends and family to celebrate a life in the way you choose. The professionals at LaGrone will ease your stress and anxieties. They'll provide the guidance you need to select a service that's appropriate. And that's what they've been doing for generations, earning your trust and doing the right thing. LaGrone Funeral Chapel and Crematory, 900 South Main in Roswell. Online at LaGroneFuneralChapels.com.
Fall is here, but it's not too late to get to Graves Farm and Garden and stock up on green chili in mild, medium, or hot, as well as dried red chili, perfect for Thanksgiving and seasonal recipes. Plus, firewood by the cord, delivered and stacked. Now's the time to stock up on hay bales with Sudan and alfalfa in both small and large bales. And the Graves Farm store is open Monday through Saturday, 8:30 to 5:30, and Sundays 1 to 5. 7.5 miles south of Roswell on the Old Dexter Highway. Graves Farm and Garden, where locally owned means locally grown. The state championship semifinals are set. And coming up this Saturday, your Roswell Coyotes look to keep it alive, taking on the Panthers of Piedra Vista High. 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM will have coverage of this state championship semifinal matchup. Join Art Sandoval and Kelly McDonald for the pregame at 12:30 and kickoff at 1. Coyotes versus the Panthers of Piedra Vista High. Saturday beginning at 12:30 on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM with audio-only coverage at KSVPTV.com. Southeastern New Mexico's sports authority, then, now, and always.
Here's a Mornings with Mike Winters fun fact. Turtles can breathe through their butts. We imagine you know some people who do that too, because that's where their heads reside. Here's Mike Winters.
And good morning. It is 21 minutes after 7 o'clock, and joining us in studio this morning from Bristol Law Office, Matt Bristol back with us. Good morning, Matt.
Morning, Mike. How are you doing?
Doing great. How's life at the Bristol household this morning?
It was chilly, children out there, so be sure and wear your coat today. It's
like 38 degrees. The wind's about 25 miles an hour.
Yeah.
So the wind chill is about 15. So let's everybody bundle up warm.
Yeah, it is chilly. And it looks cold when you look out the windows this morning, seeing it, and you're like, oh, you can tell that's not warm out there. So
yeah, be sure to look to the north because that's where the wind's coming from. And you see the trees shake, and it's just pretty windy out there.
Yeah, so bundle up. I know we're not officially in winter yet, but it kind of feels like it this week. So.
And Mike, thank you, Veterans Day. Thank you for being a veteran. Thank you for your service.
Thank you very much. Yeah, it was a great weekend. We had a lot of last week and this past weekend with Veterans Day. The schools and various church entities and stuff that did veterans programs around the community here all did amazing jobs. So it was really good.
Oh, good. Yeah, I had a great uncle who flew in the 8th Air Force.
Oh, wow.
Out of England, and they actually had a higher mortality rate than the Marines did in the Pacific.
I can imagine that. Those air campaigns. If you were with a bombing crew during World War II, your percentage rate of survivability was not the highest.
It was not. It was tough. Yeah.
Yeah. It's just you're basically sitting duck up there, and you're hitting with flak, you're hitting with fighters, and then depending on what the missions are, and there was they'd send up 50 B-17s on a bombing run, and 25 may come back sometimes.
Yeah, somehow he survived. Bless his little heart.
Yeah. So, I was a special breed that I knew a guy. He was our neighbor for many years, my grandparents. He was a belly gunner on a B-17.
Ooh.
Yeah, and he was a nice guy, but he had his moments where you're like, okay, he's a little something that affected him. You could tell that affected
them. And the tail gunners. They were alone for so many hours. They suffered from sensory deprivation.
Yeah, I can imagine. Yeah, and by the way, those B-17s were pressurized cabins and everything, so it's freezing cold up there. It's they're exposed to the elements at 10,000 feet or whatever altitude they're flying at.
Oh, yeah.
That's why they're wearing the big bomber jackets, the big leather jackets, because they're literally in sub-freezing conditions up there while getting shot at and in a metal tube.
Yeah. Uninsulated metal tube.
Yeah. There's a whole lot of... by the way, did you see that at the air show this weekend?
Oh, yeah.
I think it was in Dallas. Yeah.
In Dallas.
That B-17 and basically cut in half by the
Air Cobra, yeah.
Yeah. Ooh.
Yeah, what was that Air Cobra pilot thinking? Maybe his controls failed.
Yeah, I don't know if it controlled or if it just lost its bearings, or I'm not sure if those things have radar or what on them. I imagine more modernized. If they're doing stunt flying, they probably
B-17
modernized
was in
them.
front of him.
Yeah.
He flew in from
and that's what I'm
into
wondering. I imagine they're reenacting a battle of some kind, and I'm guessing maybe he lost where he was up there. Because I think they do that at air shows where they'll take a B-17 and they'll get some World War II, and they kind of simulate like a little dogfight,
Maybe,
thing.
yeah.
And I think they were trying to do something like that, and I'm guessing, that's the thing with precision. It's like a ballet or a dance. If one thing's slightly off, then something like this happens, and that's what happened.
Or maybe his control failed. He got target fixation.
Could be, yeah. It could be mechanical
but
too. It could be the stick locked up, and who knows what happened.
But it was like boom, bam.
Yeah, those planes are World War II era planes. They're not loaded down with computers and navigation and all the things that more modern aircraft have.
Right.
So to maybe avoid stuff like that. So.
Yeah, I had another uncle who served in the Pacific on a bomber, and he said when the war was over, they had to fly the planes home, and all the air crews were like, "Really?
Right? Like, can I get
over all that water?
Yeah.
Do we have to?
Can I get on a boat? Take a nice slow cruise back across the pond here." Of course, with all the German U-boats, I don't know if I'd want that either. So even after the war, one disgruntled one floating around out there.
Oh yeah, he said their navigator had kind of sort of a sense of humor. They're flying actually to Iwo Jima one time, and of course, they're flying over this water for however many hours, and finally, the navigator says, "All right, everybody, keep an eye out. Should be around here somewhere." Don't do that.
Yeah. Well, I mean, if you look, there's all kinds of stories of that kind of stuff from World War II and, setting up fake bases to bomb and everything else. So, I mean, it was all, as much as the strategy was going, there was much kind of subterfuge going on, and there was all kinds of stories of Germans and the Allies building fake bases, so they bomb those instead of the real bases. Or create a fake defense that looks formidable that they don't attack, even though it's all logs and smoke and mirrors. There's all kinds of stories throughout World War II and previous wars about that kind of thing.
Oh yeah, the American Brits, they actually had a dead soldier, and they dressed the body up in civilian clothes and the top secret invasion plans in his pocket and threw him in the Mediterranean.
Wow.
And of course the body washed up on the shore. The Germans found the top secret plans, and there's a lot of subterfuge going on.
Yeah, it's pretty interesting. If you ever get bored, go ahead and do some research on some of that. You'll probably go into some pretty fun rabbit holes and learn about quite a bit of stuff. So.
Oh yeah, a lot of interesting stuff.
Absolutely, but yes, good Veterans Day here. Of course, if folks not familiar, Matt joins us once a month here and talks sage legal advice with folks here. We cover. And really, it kind of follows a lot with financial planning too. Even though he's an attorney, not an accountant, but in the legal world, a lot of times bankruptcy, these things happen because the financial planning side wasn't done properly here. So even though he's a lawyer, he talks legal. A lot of it falls into the financial world to avoid having to get to the legal part and keep it into the financial part.
Yepers, that's indeedy.
And that's where Matt really shines at helping people and kind of giving them advice and kind of navigating them through those hairy situations that at some point in your life you all seem to come across. Wills. Anytime there's a family and dealing with property and estate planning and all that, there's a lot of emotion and legal that can get involved with that, along with the financial side.
Sure enough. And actually, the topic today is, avoiding, the older I get, the more important I think avoiding the wrong decision is more important than making the right decision.
I can appreciate that as we all age and get older, but now I'm, going into the 50s here, and I'm kind of, I'm getting that mindset too, where, the older you get, this is where that wisdom thing comes in.
Right,
they kept telling us about when we were younger, in their 20s and everything. You're just headstrong and dumb, and you just do what you think is good. You can rely on your youth and strength and and that side. But when you start getting in your 50s, 40s, 50s and above, 60s and on, you're now it's always the. And I don't want to tell the whole joke because it's not family friendly, but it's the old bull, young bull situation. Yeah. If you've heard that joke about running down the hill, I'll just leave it at there. And but that's the difference between youth and energy and age and wisdom, right? And that joke sums it up in that joke. So.
Well, but if you if you make a bad decision, now you're behind the eight ball.
Sure, you don't have the time to fix it or
to make an extra effort to fix it.
Yeah.
So one of the mistakes that we see people make, unfortunately, is when they pull out their 401ks to pay bills. And typically those bills are going to be unsecured debt, like credit card or medical or something. And that is an example of a wrong decision.
No, because you're basically selling the farm to fix a quick need. And that's
right.
That in the long term of things, you don't, that you're messing with, when it comes to your retirement, your future, your planning, when you put that money into whatever it is you're saving for the future, you want to, the best mindset's always been send it and forget it and pretend it's not part of the portfolio.
Right.
And, keep building it and keep maintaining it, but you never pull from it unless, not because you're overwhelmed in credit card, more dire than that. Like you're about to lose your house maybe or something like that. But if you're just behind on bills, 401ks and retirement, that stuff that you don't really want to mess with.
Don't touch that stuff. That's for your permanent future, and you don't want to be wasting it on.
Otherwise, there's no point in you doing that because now you're putting a Band-Aid on your temporary fix, and now you're going to have you're not going to have a retirement, or you're cutting into something that you're hoping that. So now guess what? You're working at Allsups when you're 75,
right?
Because that's you got to keep working.
And under New Mexico state law, all forms of retirement are protected from creditors. So to GMAT, what happens if I don't pay the bill? They're going to sue me? Well, maybe, but they can't touch your retirement.
Yeah.
Your retirement's protected by law.
Yeah, now granted, you might have to go bankruptcy or depending on, how bad we're talking all this, but
could be other options.
But your retirement is still protected. When you decide to retire at whatever age that is, your nest egg is still there, ready for you.
Yeah, I mean, because once you blow that retirement, you can't go backwards in time to make up for it. It's very, very difficult.
And building retirement, and this is why guys like Matt and certainly financial planners always say the younger you start, the easier it is, and vice versa. The older you start, the harder it is. But when you dip into it, say you started young. I started in my 20s. Now I built up something here in my 40s. And then something happens in your 40s where, you spread too thin or you maybe made a gamble and it didn't work. And next thing you know, you're thinking, oh, great, well, I'll use my 401k. Wonderful. But you know how long it took you to accrue that? It's going to be even harder now that you're in your 40s doing it and you've got less time to do it.
Exactly.
And that's why it's so dangerous. It's like that nest egg you built, you may not have enough time to rebuild it back up. I mean, unless you, some lucky fortune falls your way, odds are you're going to have trouble recouping what you paid out the first time.
So as you were saying, start young. So let's say, for example, we got Mike number one.
Mm-hmm.
And at the age of 18, he starts putting $100 a month towards retirement. He does it till he's the age of 30. Does it for 12 years.
Mm-hmm.
Stops. And he retires at 65.
Mm-hmm.
Mike number two, wait until he's 30 years old, puts $100 a month in until he's 65 and retires.
Mm-hmm.
3 times as long. So at age 65, who's got more money?
If you just think topically, you're going to think the person who's been doing it once they start at 30. But I'm thinking with interest rates and everything else, and that money's been sitting, I imagine the person who started younger probably is going to have more money. At
Mike number one.
Yeah.
Not 66. Mike two catches up. But he had to put away 3 times as much money just to catch up.
Sure.
So that's how important it is to start early.
Yeah.
So parents, help your kids start early.
That's kind of the lesson when we talk, because at the end of the day, when you're talking about financial planning, you're trying to make your money work for you. Like you're investing it and putting it in things that it's going to grow. If you start that when you're 20 and just let it do that for like Matt's saying here, that's a lot more time for it to grow than when you're sitting there at 10 years later putting it in and saying, all right, here's my $100 and I'm just doing that. There's not enough time for it to grow and to reinvest and, do all the, when we talk about stock market and all that. Yeah, if you don't know what you're doing, it's a volatile and it's gambling. It's going to Vegas and throwing your money in a slot machine. It's about this. If you don't know what you're doing, but if you're smart about it and you do it smartly and talk to the right people, then it's not like throwing your money into a slot machine. It's more of a strategic plan, and you're basing information and growth and potentials, and you're also evaluating what your own personal wants are. If you're wanting an aggressive, then you do the riskier things. But if you're kind of like, no, I want retirement. I'm going to start in my 25 here, and I'm going to let this thing percolate till I'm in my 60s and just let it grow and build and do its thing slowly, which odds are you're going to have a lot more money, because those are safer, less riskier investments in the stock market, less volatile things that are more tried and true.
Well, you have to educate yourself.
Yeah.
And so that even if you do go somewhere to get advice, you need to know whether advice is good or bad. You just have to educate yourself. So another area where we see people make bad decisions is it's an older couple, and for some reason, they've run up the credit cards. It may be they didn't save enough for retirement. They don't have enough Social Security, and they've had to use credit cards maybe for groceries or medicine. And the mistake that we see them make is they get a reverse mortgage to pay the credit cards.
Okay.
And it's like, well, why do that? Or home equity line of credit.
Now you're selling.
It's even worse.
Sure.
Because you have to pay back the home equity line of credit.
Mm-hmm.
Well, whereas if they just filed bankruptcy, they could have got rid of the credit cards. About 80% of the time, they're judgment proof anyway, because even if they don't pay the credit cards, usually the house is protected by state law.
Sure.
The Social Security can't be garnished. That's federal law. And again, state law protects any kind of retirement income if they have PERA or ERA, or even pull money out of an IRA. That's retirement income. It's protected from garnishment.
So in that case, reverse mortgage is dumb.
Then, yeah, that's incredibly dumb.
Yeah.
To pull out that reverse mortgage to pay credit cards when you could have used that for the groceries, use that for the medication, or, some kind of medical aid.
Yeah. But, and that's, and reverse mortgages that, that's another one of those where people, there is a time and a place for those. And certain, some families might benefit from that. But if you're trying to create nest eggs and trying to bequeath some money to
children or
younger
grandchildren
and things, the reverse mortgage thing is not your way to go. Now, if you don't have any grandkids or nothing, and it's just you and the couple here and all of that, then maybe the reverse mortgage is you can't take it with you mentality, and you got no one to leave it to. Maybe that's not a bad option for you. But then again, there's other options too. If you're trying to get out of debt, through like credit card debts and things, maybe reverse mortgage is something that shouldn't be off the table, or that's the last step as opposed to.
It's a very specialized area.
Yeah,
you have to be very careful how you use that because you only get to use it once.
Yeah, and obviously you're kind of you're selling the future to bet on yourself now is what you're kind of doing, and when you're in the retirement years, that's not always the first option people want to start thinking about. So.
Right.
Yeah.
So another area where we see people fail to make good decisions is, let's say you have an adult child who's a single parent.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so if your adult child is in a car wreck, taken to the ER, who the doctor's going to talk to about that child's medical treatment?
Well, usually it's a spouse if there is one, but if they're single
parent,
then it's guess the parents is
without a medical POA, mommy and daddy. That's going to be your child laying on that hospital bed
so
because
if you're
of the HIPAA laws.
Okay, so if you're a single adult, you probably need to have something in place like that.
Absolutely.
And the problem is, how many of us in our 20s are thinking about something like that?
Well, but the parents of the 25-year-old need to think about that.
Exactly.
Get that medical POA for their adult single parent
Either
child.
that or get them married off so they're someone else's problem.
Well, so here's phase 2 of the problem is, let's say your adult child, single parent, passes away in the car wreck.
Mm-hmm.
Who's going to raise that grandbaby?
Oops. Yeah.
Didn't think about that.
Well, if you're a parent and you don't have a will, you're making a huge mistake.
Yep.
It's one thing for a single person to not have a will in their 20s. I mean, you don't have a lot of assets, it's not the end of the world here. But if you're
you got a child,
if you have kids, if you're bringing other human beings onto this earth and you've already done that, then the rules are a little different for you. You just started adulthood a little earlier than others did, so you're going to have to do adulthood things earlier than others did.
You need a will that states who's going to raise that baby in the event you pass away. It's testamentary guardian.
Anytime you bring a child into this, then game changes because the focus shifts from just you to the future of that kid. And as a parent, your priority number one went from taking care of you to taking care of that child, and that's just how parenting is. So you've got to change your mindset. You got to think, okay, I need a will. What happens tomorrow? Not even just money, just what happens tomorrow if I'm not here? Where does this kid go? I don't know.
Where's the kid going to spend the night?
Yeah.
Nobody has authority to sign the kid up for school, sports. Nobody has authority to take the child to the doctor's office. And now you got this big fight that could be between the two sets of grandparents.
Absolutely.
It could be, the sister-in-law who drinks beer all the time and wants custody of the kid because this free Social Security check.
The spouse you had this with, are you guys good together, or are you guys separated? And are they ably fit to be the parent?
Well, the other bio parents got first shot.
Yeah.
And if they're not a good parent, then that kid's getting in trouble.
Yeah. But so yes. So please, so if you're young and you have kids already, you need to be the first thing you should be doing here is getting this will set up, because accidents, and this is the thing, in your 20s and you're younger, you don't think of the bus hitting you around the corner because that's, oh, I'm going to live forever. But that's truth be told, especially young people, most of the time, it's something, an accident, something like that. If you're not getting involved with drugs and all that changes the game. But if you're just an average person who's not into all that, odds
It's the out of the wild blue stuff.
Yeah, falling down the steps and hitting your head or doing the one thing that, and next thing you know, that little accident now turns the whole future of your family is in balance here. So please, if you're having kids, I don't care if you're 18, you need to start doing the will and start getting that ready for the child that you brought into this world.
Mom and dad, if you've got an adult child who's single, you need to get a medical POA over that child if you want to have any kind of input on their medical care.
Absolutely.
So another area where we see people fail to make the right decision is in a second marriage. Often they fail to provide for the second spouse. So let's say, for example, Mike, husband owns a house pre-marriage. He's married 20 years to the second wife, never puts her on the deed to the home. And naturally, he always dies without the will.
Of course.
So now, what does surviving spouse do? Who gets the house?
That could be a fight.
There will be a fight.
Yeah.
So it was husband's sole and separate property. He had it pre-marriage. And so that passes 1/4 to the surviving spouse, but 3/4 to his children. So now the stepchildren with the evil stepmom or whatever, it's now they own 3/4 of that house. And if she wants to stay in the house, she's got to come up with the money.
Yeah.
So he should have taken care of that.
Sure, make
better.
that plan. And I don't care how agreeable your family is in these scenarios. And you've got
they won't be after somebody dies.
Yeah, but unless you have it down in a will or down in a something legalized form, you can't just, well, I'm going to give it to everybody when I die. And it's like, great, but if there's no documentation to say that, it's he said, she said, and that never ends well. And
right.
So
the dad's instructions were don't count.
Mm-hmm.
Now the dead guy told me doesn't count. That's all hearsay. It has to be written to type in New Mexico. It has to be typed will.
Yeah, not even video. You can't whip out your phone.
No video.
And say, here's grandma bequeathing me everything. You can't do that because, and again, the logic here, it may be perfectly legit, but people look in the tapes at, well, was she coerced? Was she in sound mind?
Is there somebody behind the camera with the gun pointing at grandma?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
There's too many variables that could make this not accurate.
And don't get a fill-in-the-blank will, folks, because New Mexico does not recognize handwritten wills.
So don't bust that out and write it down. So you get with an attorney. Matt Bristol can help you out here, but you're attorney of choice, and you sit down and you do this. And this is even because I know there's a lot of the kits now, like with your taxes and with and quote unquote, simple legal documents. There's the internet has now, I would say any time of that kind of stuff, unless you're a lawyer yourself, why would you even think of, I don't know.
Some of that stuff's like handing a loaded gun to a kid.
Yeah.
They just have no idea how to handle it.
Like if you're trying to cut corners, maybe that's not there you want to cut corners.
No,
just,
not really.
Let's get the paperwork and do that, because at the end of the day, you may have saved $100, but if you didn't do it right, how much money did you save when you didn't get what you wanted at the end of the day?
Well, and then how many thousands of dollars to fix it?
Yeah.
Okay, so same scenario.
Gotcha.
Husband owns house pre-marriage. Marries. This time he adds wife to the deed because he's trying to think of, okay, I don't want to make the mistake the first guy made.
Mm-hmm.
I want to take care of my spouse, add her to the deed. They're married 20 years. And they file for divorce. Who gets the house?
Well,
interesting question.
I would imagine because it was accrued together.
He had it pre-marriage.
Oh, pre-marriage.
Then
but he put her name on it.
Put her name on it after the marriage.
That makes it part hers.
Well, why did he put her name on it? He was trying to avoid the problem the first guy had, right? So when they put the husband on the witness stand and go, Mr. Mike, why did you put your spouse's name on the deed? Mike says, well, I was trying to avoid the problem the other guy had. And so I was engaging in estate planning, that if I died, my wife would get the house.
Sure.
I was trying to avoid the first guy's problem.
Right.
Oh, so Mr. Mike, you're engaged in estate planning? Yeah. But did you actually intend to give away half the house? Well, of course not. It was merely estate planning. And New Mexico has upheld that. And
that's a legitimate reason in New Mexico.
It is. And we're talking 20-year marriages.
Wow.
Oh, I put the name on 20 years ago for estate planning. There's no intent to actually give half away. And New Mexico Supreme Court has upheld that.
And that's a debate for another day.
Interesting, huh?
I could see maybe if it's only been a year or two, but 20 years. That's a long time. She's got stake in the game. You know what I mean? That's
at the time you made the gift. What was the intent?
Yeah.
So that's the interesting question.
But then again, that's part of that staying up on this kind of stuff too. Because 20 years ago they were never thinking of divorce and all that. Now that we're talking about that, maybe you need to relook at how you set it up and see if that's the right way before you go down the divorce route.
So the fix for all this probably is what's called a transfer on death deed. Husband executes a deed that says, when I die, then my second wife of 20 years gets the house.
Okay.
So if he dies while they're still married, the wife gets the house.
So actually will the house to him?
No, it's not a will. It's a transfer on death deed.
Gotcha.
Because transfer on death deeds avoid probate.
Okay.
Will does not avoid probate.
So she can save a little money and all that.
Save all that money.
Okay.
Also, he can revoke that transfer on death deed anytime he wants.
Okay.
So if they file for divorce, boom, he revokes it.
Gotcha.
And she won't get the house.
Perfect.
He gives it to the kids or whatever.
But again, if you don't know these kind of things and you don't set it up that way.
Talk to the lawyer.
Yeah. This is why it always pays to have the conversation first. And that's why, and that's really what, when we talk about your practice and your office here. And before Matt will give you any kind of advice, he's going to sit and hear your whole story because his advice will change as the story unravels.
It's fact dependent. Yep.
If you walk in and say, "Do I know a will?" He's going to look at it and say, "Yeah, probably." But
let's talk about it.
Let's talk about it. And then listen to the story and it'd be like, okay, yeah, you need a will because you need a will, but what you're trying to do, I wouldn't do it through a will. We're going to do it this way. So,
exactly.
Or
I've had people say, I made my will 10 years ago. Do I need a new one? I said, well, I don't know. Let me read the old one. And I say, okay, it says this, this, and this. Do you still want that to happen? They go, yeah. I said, you don't need a will.
Gotcha.
If it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Yeah, exactly. But this is what we're talking about. Don't assume anything. Don't read something that you read on the internet and preach it as gospel. It
exactly.
Is not, depends on where that came from. Each state is different. Just because we're in the United States doesn't mean the United States have the same laws each state when it comes to any of this stuff we're talking about. Marriage, divorce, property, wills, any of this stuff. Each state is different. And something that you're trying to pull off may work in Texas, but it does not work in New Mexico. And that's where your lawyer needs
to. There you go.
That's why you need the lawyer. Because guess what? The lawyer is the person that's the expert in the state's law in which you're trying to do what you're doing.
Yeah, New Mexico is one of 8 community property states in the country. Mm-hmm. So there's a lot of other states that have different property laws, marriage laws. And even Texas, even though it's community property, it's different laws than New Mexico when it comes to certain things.
Sure.
And so it's very, what we call fact dependent. It just depends on the facts of the case and where you're at.
With New Mexico and a lot of the differences that is it a mixed bag where sometimes some of the things we do here are better than other situations versus, or is it all like, it means a lot more pitfalls in other states?
Well, one thing I like, I can compare and contrast one issue with us in Texas, for example. So let's say Mike inherits oil and gas investments, properties, that kind of stuff. Mm-hmm. So you've got this sole and separate property that's producing income.
Gotcha.
So once you're married, that money from the sole and separate sources remains sole and separate. In Texas, the income from your sole and separate properties is community property.
Ah, okay. What would you rather have? And I'm thinking, all right.
I like door number 1, please.
So, yeah, and I think most would. I mean, some would probably answer differently. So, but that's just, again, a difference.
A subtle difference.
Yeah.
I had a case where lady passes away in New Mexico. Evil stepchildren live in Texas, so they hired a Texas attorney. And so was not a very nice person, even to me on the phone. And he would say, well, there was this valid holographic will that blah, 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 blah. And I just kept my mouth shut because New Mexico doesn't recognize holographic wills or handwritten wills.
Gotcha.
But they do in Texas. So here he was under this major misassumption that he was just going to threaten my life with. And I just kept my mouth shut and smiled. Just try that over here, buddy.
Just gave him the rope to hang himself.
Try that.
Half the battle sometimes just give the people the rope.
Can't wait for you to tell the judge that.
Absolutely. Good luck with that. Well, I just saw the time. We're running a little short here, but obviously, if you have questions about anything we're talking about here, please reach out to Matt's office.
Give us a call, 625-5284.
Absolutely.
And we're going to change our web page name.
Okay.
There's a couple of snafus, so we're working on that.
So more to come on that one. Call direct. Give them a number one more time.
625-5284.
Very good. And, of course, he's located here in the J.P. White building on the corner of 3rd and Main, downtown on the 4th floor here. So you can call, get an appointment, and he'll be happy to sit and talk with you about,
come see us.
And to be honest, if there's nothing to be done, he'll tell you, and you have your meeting and walk away and go about your day.
Yep.
But if there is something more that needs to be done, this is, please, anything when it comes to your future planning, whether it's dealing with wills or dealing with your assets and what to do with them and how to protect them. Please come with your stuff to Matt and let him tell you whether what you're doing is right or what you're doing is going to get you in trouble.
Yep.
And let him walk that path and help you navigate through all.
An ounce of prevention, folks. An ounce of prevention.
You'll save a whole bunch of headache down the road.
Darn right.
You got time for fact or fiction here?
Oh, did I tell you my Kim Commando story?
I don't think so.
Kim Commando's on this same station on Saturdays.
Here on Saturdays, right here on Roswell Talk FM.
That's it. And so I was listening to her one time, and I guess apparently she lives in Phoenix because she hikes Camelback Mountain.
Yeah, I knew she was in Arizona area. Yeah.
Yeah. And so she hikes it quite a bit. And so apparently about halfway up the hill, there's Bob. And Bob sits there with an ice chest. And apparently a lot of people hike Camelback who are not prepared, don't realize what they're doing.
So Bob is preparing people or helping people out that aren't prepared.
Yeah, it's his voluntary first aid station kind of thing. And so one time she's hiking up, and there's Bob, and she goes, "Hey, Bob, how's it going?" He just rolls his eyes. And there's this group of people sitting over there, and the woman has sandals. One of the guys has a flannel shirt.
I thought they're going to Club Med.
Totally unprepared for the hike, right?
Yeah.
And so Bob asks Kim, says, "Do you have any extra water? I ran out." And she goes, "Yeah, sure." So she walks over to the group, gives them an extra bottle of water. And they're very thankful. They're in Phoenix, right? So one of the guys says, "Well, hey, what are you doing later on tonight?" And she says, "I beg your pardon, I'm a married woman." And he says, No. So we're giving a concert, and we can leave a couple of tickets at the front door if you want. And she goes, "Well, I don't know. What kind of music do you play?" He says, "Well, we're the Talking Heads."
Oh, wow. Talking Heads, good musicians, not so good at wilderness survival.
So I thought that was a key story.
Did she go to the concert? I hope she went to the concert.
I hope so.
Price of admission was a bottle of water. It's pretty good for a Talking Heads concert.
So I think that's a key story.
It is very good. Again, give out your phone number one more time.
Call Matt Bristol, 625-5284.
Good deal. And bristoloffice.com, but it's under renovation construction right now.
Yeah,
and
let me change it to something, but it'll be similar.
Very good.
Be patient.
But just call him or come by, and he'll be happy to get you an appointment and talk to you.
Thank you so much, Mike. Enjoy
Thank you as well. We'll let you get to it. I'm sure you got a stack of things waiting for you upstairs here. So, and his coffee looks low, so we better get a reboot. Thanks, Matt. We'll see you next time.
This is the owner of Trustmark Roofing, and nothing makes us happier than telling our customers no. As in, no pricing games. We give you a guaranteed price and then we stand by it. No surprises, no gotchas. No obscurity. We don't just tell you what's wrong with your roof. We record our inspections and show you. No lemons. We install premium roofing materials from top brands like Owens Corning. No shortcuts. We're in the 2% of roofers with the Owens Corning Preferred Contractor Certificate for our local area. This means we offer precision installation and the longest warranties. Want a beautiful new roof that's built to last? Choose Trustmark Roofing, the roofer that loves to tell our customers no. For an estimate, call us at 575-755-ROOF or find us online at trustmarkroofpros.com.
Trustmark Roofing, we put people first.
Fall is here, but it's not too late to get to Graves Farm and Garden and stock up on green chili in mild, medium, or hot, as well as dried red chili, perfect for Thanksgiving and seasonal recipes. Plus, firewood by the cord, delivered and stacked. Now's the time to stock up on hay bales with Sudan and alfalfa in both small and large bales. And the Graves Farm store is open Monday through Saturday, 8:30 to 5:30, and Sundays 1 to 5. 7.5 miles south of Roswell on the Old Dexter Highway. Graves Farm and Garden, where locally owned means locally grown. Do you know what to do when you or a loved one has flu-like symptoms, chest pain, shortness of breath, or abdominal pain? Or where to go for a broken bone? Emergencies are never convenient, but when they happen, ask to be taken to Loveless Regional Hospital, where they have 24/7 emergency care, intensive care, and more. You can even be seen in about 30 minutes or less. When urgencies or emergencies happen, ask to be taken to Loveless Regional Hospital. Because minutes matter, and you have a choice.
Here's a Mornings with Mike Winters fun fact. Alaska is the only state